This shit major. This shit major. This shit major. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. All every day that I wake up. Gotta thank the Lord for my haters. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. Blew through a bag, nothing major. Nigga lifestyle high maintenance. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. All every day that I wake up. Gotta thank the Lord for my haters. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. Blew through a bag, nothing major. Nigga lifestyle high maintenance. I'm hearing you stepping on the pavement. Spin down on the op in flavor. Cody came with the car like a sailor. Smooth through my city like the mayor. Versace cloth, that's a light linen. My neck and my wrist, that's a life sentence. What I got in the trunk, I can get the chair. Probably had them first if you seen a pair. Stepping new Balenci's. Yeah. Be right here, 15 a pair. Probably fucked your bitch if you seen her there. Never beef over hoes, niggas seem to care. Buff song got me seeing clear. I'ma drop a bag, never drop a tear. Got the fully stashed and I'm on clear. I just checked the bag, that amount clear. Got your bitch getting nasty on camera. Throwing through that money like a scammer. Streets on lock, got a handle. All the water on me, no paddle. Bitch, you keep asking me to fuck. Had to tell the hoes I got standards. Bitch ass nigga, no manners. Bitch ass nigga, no manners. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. All every day that I wake up. Gotta thank the Lord for my haters. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. Blew through a bag, nothing major. Nigga lifestyle high maintenance. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. All every day that I wake up. Gotta thank the Lord for my haters. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. Blew through a bag, nothing major. Nigga lifestyle high maintenance.
You know I went big on big. Ain't gonna tell the folk what the fuck I did.
I ain't even tell them.
Couple niggas hating in the back. Fuck them niggas, but it is what it is.
Boy, I know what it is.
I was having paper back then. Wait for a nigga started having motion.
Wait for a nigga.
Shit got major on the way. They can have more mood in the ocean. These niggas way too friendly. These niggas must need a buddy. A bitch nigga gonna get ugly. I send them to the moon. Need the fuck nigga tell me. Treat this cat pat like a bucket. Teach your little hoe how to suck it. Allie from Trado, I nut on her Fado. We finished, she know not to touch me. Bitch of the mayor, I'm having them flavors. Face you an order and meet me on favor. Boy, you a captain, this hoe going down. Eating dick in the back, you cannot save her. Mini gun size is a pager. All my gun came with a laser. Hold on my name and you know the other game. Shit done got too major.
Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. All every day that I wake up. Gotta thank the Lord for my haters. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. Blew through a bag, nothing major. Nigga lifestyle high maintenance. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. All every day that I wake up. Gotta thank the Lord for my haters. Trip too strong, shit major. This shit major. Blew through a bag, nothing major. Nigga lifestyle high maintenance.
Heinous in the building.
It's Mr. Steal Your Girl. It's Mr. Steal Your Girl. Hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. Let go. Bottoms up. Ever see you come? Got a couple bottles, but a couple ain't enough. Bottoms up. Throw your hands up. Tell security we bout to tear this club up. Bottoms up. Pockets full of cream. Girl, you know I love the way you shake it in them jeans. Bottoms up. Throw your hands up. Bottoms up. You know what it is, girl, we back up in this thing. Money stay in my pocket, girl, I'm like a walking bank. Tell me what you drink, tell me what you think. If I go get these bottles, we go alcohol and thing. Calling all the girls, do you hear me? All around the world, city to city. Cheers to the girls, or deuce to the guys. Now I got a chicken and a goose and a rag, getting loose in a rag. Hey, ass nigga, you can move to the side. Bottoms up, ever see you come? Got a couple bottles, but a couple ain't enough. Bottoms up, throw your hands up. Tell security we bout to tear this club up. Bottoms up, pockets full of green. Girl, you know I love the way you shake it in them jeans. Bottoms up. My vision's blurred, my words slurred. It's jam-packed, a million girls, and I ain't tryna lead them. We drunk, so let me be your alcohol hero. Calling all the girls, do you hear me? All around the world, city to city. Cheers to the girls, no abuse to the guys. Now I got a chicken and a goose and a ride, getting loose in the ride. Hey, man, nigga, you can move to the move to the move to the side. Bottoms up, ever see a cup? Got a couple bottles, but a couple ain't enough. Bottoms up, throw your hands up. Tell security we bout to tear this club up. Bottoms up, pockets full of green. Girl, you know I love the way you shake it in them jeans. Bottoms up, throw your hands up. Bottoms up, bottoms up.
Yo, can I get that Patron? Can I get that Remy? Can I get that Coke? Can I get that Henny? Can I get that margarita on the rock rocks? Can I get salt all around that rum tray? I was like, yo, Trey, do you think you could buy me a bottle of rosé? Okay, let's get it now. I'm with a bad bitch, he's with his friends. I don't say hi, I say keys to the Benz. Keys to the Benz, keys to the Benz. Not yet, B to the 10. If a bitch try to get cute, I'm a snuffer. Double out of money, yeah, then y'all fucker. Then y'all fucker. Then I'ma go and get my Louis Vuitton fucker. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm really such a lady. I rep Young Money, you know Slim, baby. And we be doing donuts while we waving like we 80. We give a lot of money to the babies out in Haiti. Yelling all around the world, do you hear me? Do you like my body? Anna Nikki. Rest in peace to Anna Nicole Smith. Yes, my dear, you're so explosive. Say hi to Mary, and Joseph. Now bottoms up and double my dose.
Bottoms up, ever see you cup? Got a couple bottles, but a couple ain't. Turn your bottoms up, throw your hands up. Tell security we bout to tear this club up. Bottoms up, pockets full of green. Girl, you know I love the way
it's not that I'm drunk. I'm good. Trick or treat. Let's do it.
Bottoms up.
I am the land spy.
Bottoms up.
I'm Roman.
Bottoms up.
Woke up in the morning, say good morning to the haters. Rolling up so lovely, get high like elevators. Stay intoxicated, sipping number 5 racer. Pull over to the side, I'm in the mouth like now and later. Woke up in the morning, say good morning to the haters. Rolling up so lovely, get high like elevators. Stay intoxicated, sipping number 5 racer. Pull over to the side, I'm in the mouth like now and later. These little motherfuckers, they be hating on the stilo. Pull up in the foreign, step out dripping like a Migo. West side, California, like I'm Depot. Little bad bitch, dark hair, look like she go. I take my whole back, that's a repo. 2 dime pieces, that's a free throw. I represent the Bay every year like I'm D-Lo. Might pop a couple mushrooms just to take my ego. I'm just trying to get it poppin'. Wake up in the morning, power hour, Tony Robbins. I seen you dropped a couple albums, but these niggas flopping. Gotta do whatever necessary, hustle's never stopping. I just gotta keep it moving. Winning streak, Charlie Rocket never losing. You say you bout it, but you talking never proving. The dope I got from Ruben got these motherfuckers grooving. I'm the teacher, you the student. When I'm preaching, it be fluent. Little baby, what you doing? Back the thing up on me, make you wish you never knew him.
Like I said, I always try to express my appreciation, to everybody.
everybody. You know, it's a lot of.
Listen, fresh perspective, real empowerment. You better be respected. Lady Fresh on the motherfucking check-in. Squeezy got her back, she stay protected. Listen, fresh perspective, real empowerment. You better be respected. It's for the demons, it's to get you through the night. Not for the haters that you they don't come outside.
Lady Fresh Brown, and that's just kind of started from there.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Fresh Perspective. I am your host, Lady Fresh. You guys got to excuse me. My voice is feeling my throat's feeling a little itchy right now. Let me take a little drink real quick. Let me take a little drink. How's everybody doing on this Wednesday evening? We got a great show for you tonight. We have a special guest in the building. She's waiting for us backstage. So we're going to try to get things rolling pretty quickly. So I just want to go ahead and acknowledge my chat really quickly before I bring my guest up. So let me scroll back and see who's been in here. I know earlier I saw J-Town Salute. Thank you for sharing my stream. I appreciate you so much for that. My Boo Salute. Carla Salute. Designer Salute. Thank you guys for tuning in. Fresh Breezy, my king. Thank you so much for being here. Bishop, how you doing, Grant Dude? Thanks for tuning in. My sis Lotus Flower Bomb, thank you for tuning in, sis. You know I always appreciate you so much. Andre Obama don't like me. Andre Obama, one of the drunk uncles, is in the building. Bill's Lane salute. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. We have a really good show for you guys today. As you know, it has always been my goal to do awareness episodes. And so, even though I didn't get a chance to really do a true awareness episode in February, we did talk about how Black History Month was started. In January, we did Thyroid Awareness Month. And this month, we are going to be talking about MS, which is short for multiple sclerosis. And many of you have probably heard about this very debilitating disease. And we have a special guest here that's going to actually talk to us today about her journey. We're going to get personal today, you guys. We're not going to sit here and spill a bunch of statistics and bore you with all that. I wanted to bring someone who could give you real life, her real life experience, what her life was like before, what her life is like today. And, you know, I really take my time and try to find someone that I think you guys can kind of relate to. And so I found this young lady, and, you know, for whatever reason, once I called her, we just clicked and we had a great conversation. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and we just put a plan together, and we're here today. So we're going to get ready to bring her up. I think I seen a couple more people in the chat. Salute, strong back love. Coach Al in the building. Buddy Lee, thanks for stopping by. Mike Martin, always good to see you. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera on. Hey, guys. Hey. So today I'm rocking got the short hair. You know, y'all know I can't keep my hair the same too long. So I had it blonde this morning, and now it's chopped off, which I think y'all like that. I like it. It's getting ready to get warm, so you know I gotta keep it off my neck. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you to you guys. Our guest for today, her name is Samantha Smith. You guys welcome her to the show. Hey, Samantha.
Hey, girl. Hey.
You look beautiful. I love that orange shirt.
Thank you. Trying to represent a Black woman created this, and at the same time, you know, Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month too.
That's right. It's the orange flag for those, the orange ribbon for those of you who didn't know.
Yes.
It is the orange ribbon that we use for multiple sclerosis. But thank you so much for being here. Just real quick, you guys, I typically find most of my guests through social media. And she asked me a question that no one's ever really asked me before, which was, how did you find me? How did you
Right.
choose me? And it was funny because normally, and I explained this to Samantha, I go through a lot of posts. I find the hashtag for whatever I'm looking for once I decide the awareness, and I scroll through that hashtag. So I put in multiple sclerosis, and I'm just going through. I found some that I liked, but I was like, I don't know. Normally, I look for someone who's pretty much told me their story already. They, tell me they're an advocate. You can read and see all these foundations. You can see, basically I know everything before I even reach out to them. But for some reason this time I was like, you know what? Let's try something a little different. And I came across Samantha made a simple post. And I think I have a picture of what I saw. And it was this, no, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. It was this one. And it just said MS awareness. The month of March is multiple sclerosis awareness month. And I think in the bottom is like, until there's a cure, I will continue to fight.
Yeah.
That's all came up on that particular thread. And I was like, she's the one. It was simple, but I was like, I don't need to know her story ahead of time. If she wants to tell me when we talk, that's great. But that was enough. It was the face. It was the simplicity of what you said. And I said, she's going to be the one I target. And then I had a couple of backups.
So you're going to make me cry in like the first 5 minutes of us talking. Is that what
well, you heard this story though?
But it's still kind of like, I don't know. It's still very overwhelming on on both spectrums, on the positive and the I'm here with multiple sclerosis spectrum. You know what I mean? And it's, yeah.
Well, girl, let me tell you, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
And one thing that I have done a little research about this condition is that oftentimes you can't look at someone and just say, oh, they have MS.
Yeah.
People expect to see someone who might be very debilitated, but that's not always the case. So when I look at you, the picture would have never told me that you were on this uphill battle.
Yeah.
And so thanks again for joining us. And I want to dive right in and find out a little bit about you. Tell us, who Samantha Smith is.
Well, hi, everybody. And again, thank you for having me. So Samantha Smith, I am 41 years old. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a grandmother. I have a beautiful little grandson. Oh my gosh. I got some bonus grandchildren too. And I've worked for Chicago Public Schools. I live in Chicago. I've worked for Chicago Public Schools for 23 years as of this year. And I recently just opened up my own business as a salon owner. I'm a tight curl artist. And I mean, I'm just a lover of all the things. I love food. I love family. Tacos are it's like my favorite. That's my jam. I'll eat a taco all day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You related, girl.
Girl.
Love me a good taco now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's the gist of it for me. It's a lot of little things, but those are the major things about me.
Everything that you said, it makes up a beautiful life. Children, grandchildren. You did say you're a wife.
Yes.
You're a business owner.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. And one day in, I believe it was 2021. Is that when?
Yeah.
2021. You were diagnosed with MS.
Yeah.
Can you tell me before you tell me what that day was like, because I want to know what went through your mind when they told you your diagnosis, but I want to know, what were you experiencing before you actually got the diagnosis?
So what led up to diagnosis?
Yes.
For 2 years, I had been having a neck and shoulder pain, and I was going to my doctor, And like going through all the things, she was sending me to physical therapy. She gave me muscle relaxers. Like she was doing the parts that I felt like a doctor should do, to try to make sure that I was okay, but nothing was really helping. And I can't say that I was consistently going to the doctor either. I would go and then I wouldn't go back for 5 or 6 months and say, like that didn't help. And then she'd give me something else. And then finally at like the 2-year mark, I was like, hey, like this pain has been very persistent for 2 years. Like pain level can go to like a 7. It can go down to a 1, but one thing is consistent, it's not going away. And this feels weird. And she was like, okay, so look, I'm like, I need a CAT scan. She was like, I don't even know what a CAT scan does. Still to this day, I don't know what to do.
You knew you needed one though.
Right. I just know that, they find stuff when you have a CAT scan. So she was like, no, let's do an x-ray. And then we'll go from there. So the x-ray didn't show anything. And then we went straight into an MRI. And so the MRI was of the left side, my shoulder and my neck, but it picked up parts of my brain and my spine. And so I could just remember like being in the doctor's office with her. She has a very small private practice, but she's a very busy doctor. So I know for certain that she hadn't looked at my results prior to me being there for my appointment. And as she's looking at them, I'm looking at her and I'm just seeing something happen in her body, because this has been my doctor for like over a decade at this point. And I'm like, something is not right. So then she just went into asking me some questions. So I had recurrent UTIs for probably like the last 8 years before that. And like, we just couldn't figure out what they were about. And she would give me, rounds of antibiotics, and I would be fine for a little bit, and then it would come back again. And so that was probably the one thing that she probably felt like she missed in the whole thing, because, having urinary tract issues is one of the symptoms for most people. Wow. And, but anyway, she asked me a bunch of questions, and then she was just like, well, the MRI shows that something consistent with multiple sclerosis. And I'm like, what is that? I'd heard of it, but I didn't know what it was. And she immediately just kind of told me like, hey, don't get to Googling, don't do a lot. Like, let's take this step by step, because I don't want you to be afraid if it's nothing to be afraid of. When we come to it, we'll talk about it if it's something that we need to talk about. So I honored that, because I have anxiety a little bit, and I can like,
you'll jump on Google.
Listen, Dr. Google will send you off.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You have cancer for everything, right? So I honored it. I talked to my husband. I really didn't share it with my family, my sisters and my mom. I just kind of shared it with my husband and one of my trusted friends. She's a retired nurse. I told her. And, we just kind of like started going through the whole thing for testing. And it just was pretty conclusive, because I took a bunch of tests. I took another MRI. I did a spinal tap, which was awful. It was like one of the worst experiences I've ever had. And everything was pretty conclusive to that. So when I got the diagnosis, it felt like, I don't even know, like it was devastating. And I still didn't know what it was, but I knew it was serious enough. Like after I got the first MRI of my whole brain, and that was pretty conclusive with multiple sclerosis. At that point, I started looking it up and understanding what it was. And there weren't a lot of images of people like living a regular life. It was like probably what you saw, it was, paralysis, vision loss, cognitive issues, and a lot of the groups that I got in immediately too, like that's people who had walking aids. Like it was very devastating in the very beginning for me.
I know growing up, the very first time I ever heard of multiple sclerosis was in 6th grade. I had one of my closest friends, when I finally met her mom, I noticed that she, walked with a cane. And she wasn't, she had to be in her early 40s.
Okay.
And I'm like, why does your mom have a cane? And she actually explained, and it was amazing to me how knowledgeable she was, because her mom was in a state where she actually needed quite a bit of assistance. So she
Mhm.
had to be familiar with the condition. And so throughout most of my life, the image that I had in my mind of someone with MS were they were nearly disabled. But
Yeah.
you see people now, celebrities that we know, Tamia,
Right.
Montel Williams,
Yeah.
Selma Blair. There are so many people who you would never look at them and tell that, they struggle with MS. What was your process after you looked it up? You figured out, okay, this is what I have. Now, this is what we need to do. Because I know you said your doctor didn't really, you felt like your doctor was, really busy. She kind of missed something. So, what was the next steps for you once you received your diagnosis?
I'm sorry, it kind of went out. What was
I said,
the last part?
what were the steps for you once you received your diagnosis?
Well, immediately they wanted to put me on medication, right? And from the research that I had done, I found that there's no cure, and that the medications that they were given, like they just had all of these side effects. And I've never had to take a medication before, like beyond taking a Tylenol or ibuprofen or something like that. And so in the beginning, I was pretty hell bent on I was not going to take medication. So I was going to do some lifestyle changes.
Mhm.
And I had just got a Peloton, so I'm like, I'm gonna exercise and I'm gonna eat differently, and which I did. Like I took all the white things out of my diet. I didn't eat any dairy. I didn't have any sugar. I didn't have any gluten, or at least like for gluten, I wasn't like super specific with checking things, but like I really just stayed away from bread and flour and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And but I was still sick. Like I felt better. Um, I felt better. Like I slept better. Like there were parts of my body that felt better, but the issue that I was having with my urinary tract, like that was getting worse. And like nothing really helped with that up until I started taking medication, but I didn't realize that at the time. The reason why I decided to take medication was almost a year after the diagnosis. I like developed where I could not hardly move my neck. Like I had no range of motion. I was in like this really excruciating pain. And I went back to the doctor, and the doctor was like, listen, I know that you wanted to try lifestyle things, and that's fine. Like I encourage you to incorporate that. But, I want to let you know that we caught this at a very, very early stage for you. Most of the time when people come in, like they need to be hospitalized when somebody finds out that they have multiple sclerosis. We found this damn near by accident, you know. And I just think that it would be in your best interest to consider taking the medication. And so I prayed on it. I cried about it. I had a fit, because I still wasn't accepting it. And to be honest here, I'm not still accepting it now. I'm just kind of like going through the motions of it all. But I'm no longer like bargaining, like, God, can you take this away? But I'm really
Mhm.
feeling like I have a hard time accepting the idea that I am going to take medication forever, that my future is uncertain, all of those types of things. But um, when it came to the medication, I just really was like, fighting with the doctor about it. But he was like, we caught this early, and I think that it would be helpful for you. And so I ended up having to take a steroid that helped for the neck and shoulder pain that I was having. And then the next month, I went into the monthly injection that I take now. And almost immediately, like the urinary tract stuff, all of that stuff kind of went away from me, even though the medicine is not made to cure. It's not made to help. It's not supposed to do any of those things. It's supposed to help slow the progression of the disease, because it's a progressive disease over time.
Right.
It's supposed to get worse. So the medication is supposed to kind of like slow that progression down. But there have been a lot of instances, especially in some of the support groups that I'm in, where people have said that it has helped. And I can say that some of those major issues that I was having before, that it's definitely helped.
Well, it seems like it would make sense that it would help because, like you said, it is progressive. And if the medication is to slow it down, if, the disease isn't going on the same, path that it was as rapidly as it was, you would think that some of the issues that you're experiencing, hopefully, that the medication would tackle some of those. And you're fortunate enough that it did for you because I'm pretty certain just like with so many other conditions, like I'm really learning so much doing this because so many different conditions have so many similarities. I'm hearing a lot of similarities in what you're describing to what the young lady that was on my show in January for thyroid awareness was describing. They a panel of tests trying to figure this out, figure that out. You mentioned early detection. And, the research that I did, of course, statistically, multiple sclerosis affects women more than it affects men.
Yes.
And it affects African Americans more typically than it does our Caucasian counterparts.
Right.
I think a lot of times things affect us more because we don't go to the doctor. We don't, or the doctor's not listening.
Or right.
That is a big thing.
Right.
When you said that, it struck a chord with me because I feel like, especially for Black women, we are constantly battling with our doctors to listen to us.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful that you were able to get an early detection because it may have changed the course of your life
Oh, I'm sorry.
For the positive. You know what I mean?
I'm certain of it.
So you mentioned support groups. How quickly after your diagnosis did you realize that a support group would be beneficial to you?
Immediately. I realized that, like you said earlier, like I don't look like MS. You and I spoke briefly this morning, and I could look just like this, right? And I could feel like a train has run me over, And so I think that even though I have a lot of love and support from my family, it's kind of hard sometimes, like trying to get somebody to understand that I don't feel good. And I won't even say that I'm trying to get them to understand it, because that's not even it. It just feels weird sometimes looking like this and saying, I don't really feel good, or I don't want to do that, or I just feel like I need to take a nap, It just feels weird because typically when somebody does not feel good, you can almost see it in most cases, right? And that's not always the case. And it just felt very isolating. I think even today, like my family, they love and support me, but everybody is at such a distance when it comes to the disease. And I think that that's a defense mechanism in a lot of cases for them. I look okay. I'm out here working. I started a business. I'm still running my daughter around and, I'm still doing all of the things. So it's like she's fine in a sense, right? And so it feels isolating sometimes. It's like, I'm not fine. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't want people to have sympathy or treat me like I'm not fine either. So it's like this really weird space. Like, I don't want you to treat me weird, but I also want you to know it's something wrong for real, right?
I get that.
Yeah. And so being in the support groups, it helps with that. Like, it just gives me an outlet of people who I know understand what it is that I'm experiencing. And it's just like being with people who understand you, even though we don't know each other personally. Like, I've made a few really, really tight connections throughout those groups of people who, like, I can't wait to meet in person, because they have really been helpful and supportive of me through my journey with multiple sclerosis. And they might say, like, oh, you've been so inspirational to me because I'm probably the more vocal person of the few of us. Like, I feel, I guess I'm expressive anyway. So sharing on social media and stuff like that, it just kind of, once I got to a point where my family knew, and my baby girl was the last person that I told. Once I got to a space where she knew, then it was like, okay, let me let people know what's going on. Even though I don't really know what the hell is going on. I don't know a lot about the disease, or, I just know what I'm experiencing. So I share from that aspect. So those girls would be like, you have inspired me but truly they inspire me because I'm watching women, you know, like they give me hope. I see them out here doing things and, you know, fighting through, because a lot of what we experience starts in the mental first.
Absolutely.
So, right. And if you succumb to what you think something is, because I immediately was trying to convince my family that I wasn't dying, right? That multiple sclerosis wasn't a death sentence. But truly, I was trying to convince myself that my future wasn't dead. You know what I mean? So while people don't die from multiple sclerosis per se, sometimes they can die from some complications, right? But multiple sclerosis doesn't kill people like, you know, people can die from cancer.
Right.
But I think because it's such a mental battle, you know, the mental aspect of this is very, very difficult, because when I have good days, I'm fighting mentally because I'm like, I hope tomorrow is good
You
too.
like this, right?
Yeah, you know, and when I have a bad day, like today, you know, like I really didn't feel well today. And I decided that I needed a day off. I needed a day to reset because I had been not feeling well since Sunday. So this is one of the things that I've learned. Like, I can't keep pushing myself to the very limit of not feeling well when my body sits me down. I have to
Mm.
sit down, and being in those support groups, you know, things like that. It just teaches me that, because I'm learning from other people's situations versus me having to learn, you know, on my own.
I mean, that's simply amazing because, you know, our culture a lot of times don't believe in therapy, they don't believe in support groups, they don't believe in,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? A lot of times it takes something seriously drastic to force you into a space like that. And you mentioned the mental aspect of it. So, in tackling the mental aspect of it, you were also diagnosed during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that added an extra layer of stress for you, or was it kind of a situation where the world was kind of shut down? You know, you didn't really, I don't know what your, you know, your work schedule was like, if you had to still go to work every day. Did you feel like you had more time to dedicate to getting yourself on track to battle this disease?
You know what? It's funny that you asked that, because now that I think about it, it was probably a balance of both.
Okay.
Because I was living such a busy life prior to, always having family over, like everything was like nonstop prior to the pandemic. So the pandemic slowed things down a little bit for me, and it allowed me to put some things into perspective on what I really wanted for my life outside of MS, even before I was diagnosed with MS, right? And I started therapy during the pandemic as well. And so I think that it was just a balance of both. It allowed me to just slow down, and it allowed me to just kind of figure out like what it was that I really needed to do for myself. You know what I mean?
And it's funny you say that because, you know, I feel like quite a few people, a lot of people that I've interviewed, if they were diagnosed with something, it was around pandemic time.
Mm,
And for each person, that experience has been different, you know, especially when, you know, I talked to mothers who were delivering babies during the pandemic.
yeah,
It was extra layers of stress because you had, you know, partners who couldn't be in the room. You had, you know, that couldn't even be in the hospital,
yeah.
you know, and others, you know, such as yourself, you know, may have been diagnosed, but had that extra time to refocus on yourself. Um, when we talked the other day, you know, we decided we weren't going to really talk about what I was going to ask you, right?
Right.
But I did tell you I wanted to know how important family is to you overall and how important their role after your diagnosis was.
So family has been super important for me. My husband, he has been very supportive. My kids, my son is 25, and I think that like his love for me is very affectionate and passionate, but he like MS is so far away from him that he's like, if you don't say nothing, I'm not saying nothing. And I respect that that's his process,
This
because
is
I'm his
process.
mom and he just can't fathom that something is wrong, you know. And he even told me, he's like, if something is wrong, I want you to tell me. But other than that, I'm just chilling. right? I don't want to, I don't really want to deal with it. But I family has just been like the best thing. My sisters have been so supportive. I just decided like I wanted to go on this trip. I'm like, I just want to be with my sisters. I want to do something. I want to go somewhere. I want to eat some good food. And they were like, look, we down. What you want to do? And so we just randomly did that. It's family has been super, super important. My grandbaby, I feel like he's a medicine ball for me. When I tell you, like, he was born in January of 2021 and I was officially diagnosed in May. But I knew it was coming because I started testing in November, right?
Okay. Wow, it took that long?
Yeah, I started testing.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, it's like trying to get appointments during a pandemic too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So there's that layer of stress right there.
It
I
was.
can imagine.
It was. So everything was flowing. Like, I don't feel like my experience with the doctors, I think, is very different from what a lot of people have experienced. And I do want to give them some credit there and say that all of the holdup was mostly me. If something took longer than it needed to take, it was because I didn't make the appointment when I should have made it because I was kind of stalling. But so I knew it was coming, when my grandson was being born. And that was probably like the scariest thing for me. It was like, what if I can't be here for him? What if I can't, be the grandmother? Because I'm trying to break some generational curses. I want to be a safe space for him. I want, him to only, when he thinks of me, I want him to only think of love. Like, I don't want him to feel any other type of feeling when it comes to me at all. Like, if my kids try to tell him I was mean to them, I want him to be like, you are a lie. Because my Gigi. My Gigi don't have a mean bone in her body, So but him being born, I think that God, I don't know if my son needed him. I don't know if his mama needed him, but I know I needed him.
And that's how life works. I really believe that strongly.
Yeah.
That, they always say everything happens for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And, no matter what we do, whatever's supposed to be is going to be. So you can stall on the doctor's appointments. You still got to go.
I still got
it right. You still got to get the diagnosis, but I don't know what your religious background or what your faith is, but I believe that God brought your grandson at that time specifically for you to be able to enjoy his birth before having to dive right into managing your MS. And so you got to enjoy that, those 5 months before you knew exactly what you were gonna be facing. And so I mean, listen, when I spoke to you earlier today and you said you weren't feeling well, I was prepared to say, you know what, we can reschedule this because I didn't want to add anything to your plate. But you were adamant that you were going to do this interview, and girl, you showed up looking like $1 million.
Thank you.
So, I feel like that is the cape that we as Black women wear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's in us oftentimes to fight through the pain, to fight through the sadness, to fight through all these things that might be on our shoulders, on top of, if we have chronic illness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We still have to be like trailblazers. So, Black girl magic, I'm for all of that. So,
but you know what? Even with that, like, I want to say to anybody who's listening who might even be fighting through something, and even you, because I know you're going through something too. Listen, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to say, I can't do this right now. To choose yourself and choose what it is that you feel like you need to do and not always push yourself. So one of the things that I am doing, like multiple sclerosis, has pushed me out of my comfort zone. Being here with you today is out of my comfort zone, right? The things that opening up my business at the spur of the moment, like it really wasn't a plan for me. It was just like something happened and it was just like, I have the choice to sit or move, and I chose to move. And I think that that's what multiple sclerosis has done for me. It's just really pushed me because you don't know what your tomorrow looks like either. But for real, I spent like maybe the first 6 to 8 months after diagnosis waking up just afraid to move my fingers or afraid to move my toes because I thought maybe they weren't going to move, you know? And
Mm.
so I don't live like that now. Thank God. I wake up and if my body is cooperating and I'm not stiff, I just get up and move. But for those first few months, that's how I was living. And so I'm just grateful for that. But that's what MS has done for me, is just really like push me to not be afraid and to do the things um that scare me. It's like, do it scared anyway. Like, yeah, you might be a little nervous being on this lady's show that you don't know live in front of whoever these
You,
people are. You don't know these people. You don't know this lady.
yeah, I literally booked this interview. When did I message you? Like Sunday?
Sunday.
Sunday. I yeah. And she was like, okay.
Yeah. Cause
And
it's
and it's crazy. Because you sent me a message and you was like, this might be me trying to talk myself out of this, but I let me find the message. I don't want to paraphrase because I was like, I like her already, and I haven't even spoken to her. You made a reference to I think it was Dory from Finding Nemo.
just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Oh my goodness. So let me see. I'm gonna find this. So I sent her a message and I sent her a link to one of my shows. I explained to her who I was. And you don't mind if I read this message, right?
No, go ahead.
Okay. She put, "Hi. Wow, thank you so much. I would be honored. This is me probably trying to talk myself out of it, but I do want to say I don't even really know that much about MS myself. I'm just over here swimming my way through like it's Dory, child." And I knew exactly what the reference was when you said it, and you said,
Yeah.
LOL. But whatever I can offer, I will. Let me know what the next steps are. This month is MS Awareness Month, so it's absolutely the perfect time. And you guys, like when I get these messages back, I haven't had anybody tell me no yet. And I don't know if, my paragraph long message that I send, I try to be transparent. I tell them what my goal is, what I'm doing. I let them know I said I was a small content creator. And honey, she checked me real quick and was like, "Nah, you're not small." And I said, "You're right. I'm building."
That's
And
right.
she let me know it's the power in our words. So I can be as big as I want to be as long as I put the work in, right? I gotta believe it and receive it. So you don't realize it, but our conversations, text threads up to this point, you've actually helped me a lot.
Mm.
You know, it's not just you helping me by coming and doing the show, just, you know, your energy, the way that are pushing through something you felt totally uncomfortable doing. You were like, I don't know, it's gonna be live.
Right.
I was like, but my chat, oh girl, they so nice, and my moderators ain't gonna let nobody talk crazy, so you gonna be good, and I want everybody to feel comfortable. So
I definitely
again, thank
feel
you,
comfortable.
thank you for that, because she was like, girl, I feel like I know you, like this is not our first conversation,
Mhm.
and that's exactly how it felt. And so we decided to conduct this interview without going over questions with one another. I didn't know her story. I only knew that you had MS. I knew you are a business owner. We talked about your grandson, and I could hear you light up about him through the phone.
It's my baby.
That's your baby.
My baby.
And I knew that you were diagnosed fairly recent.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I want her to tell her story, and I want it to be news to me as well as my viewers. And so I know you made mention about the changes you had to make as far as, it not being a cure. But you found a way to, I guess it's maintenance management, had to make lifestyle changes. You mentioned diet, eliminating dairy, certain things. How was your family about some of the things that needed to be eliminated? Were they on board with a lot of the lifestyle changes you needed to make? Was it something that was implemented as a whole, or do you kind of eat different, exercise different, just you?
Wait, so I want to say I did that in the first 6 or 7 months. I don't do it now, and I should. I don't know what I ate that changed everything. I think it was a trip I took with my sisters. Actually, we went and we ate some good food down there in Baltimore, and I just been eating all the bullshit ever since then. But but even when I was doing it now, honestly, my family really weren't on board. Like they were like, you can eat salmon and salad and whatever you're
We gonna
eating,
eat what
but
we want.
yeah, we're gonna eat what we want. My baby gonna eat her McDonald's, my husband gonna eat his lemon cookies, you know. But they, you know, but even in that, he was supportive in making sure I had what I needed. But nah, like they didn't really jump on board with eating well with me.
And didn't find that to be kind of hard though?
Yeah, yeah. And
Smelling, especially does your husband cook?
yes,
You see,
he's
that makes
he's a
it
great
even worse.
cook.
Right. So
Yeah.
that makes it even worse because he's in there probably cooking up all this stuff he know you can't eat. Smelling good.
Yes.
And you had to just like, was it easy for you to kind of have that willpower because you knew like you had to do this for yourself, or did it take a lot of time?
I think, you know, for me, even now, I know that if I start doing it and I give myself a good week or two of eating well, it's gonna become better. Like my
Okay.
body starts to crave fresher foods. Once I start eating them, my body kind of craves it. And so it wasn't that difficult once I got into the flow. You know, once I got into the flow of it, I was eating like gluten-free bagels and avocado
Mm.
sandwiches
Okay.
and stuff like that. Like I had a plan for what it was going to look like for me. And I was actually in cosmetology school during the majority of that time and packing my lunch and just really trying to figure it out. But it really wasn't. And I work with food anyway. So meal prepping and stuff like that is just kind of comes a little naturally for me and cooking in bulk. So I had a plan. So even now, it's like if I get a plan together, I can do it. Even if they don't do it with me, I just gotta give myself a good probably 2 weeks of not eating all of the other stuff, and then I'll be in the habit of it. But
Okay.
yes, it's difficult though, especially when you have to cook 2 different meals.
2 different meals.
Yes, yes. And you're going out and they're eating this and you're eating that. I remember one time we went to PF Chang's and they
Okay.
ordered, and I love PF Chang's. They ordered all this other stuff, and I was like eating fried cauliflower or what is it, tempura cauliflower,
Yeah.
stuff
Oh.
like that. Like I was eating more vegetable based meals, and it was a little bit like, damn, I want some of that Mongolian beef too, but
And you said you're a foodie. Are you a foodie?
I'm a
'Cause
foodie.
I am too,
I
girl.
love food.
Yeah. And food ain't my friend. So I definitely understand your pain there. And then my husband, he's actually an amazing cook as well. And you know, he be cooking up some stuff, and I'd be like,
This is not part of the diet.
it's not. It's not. So I know you said you were in cosmetology school. So you launched your business going through all of this as well?
Yeah. So when I was, let me see, the day that I was officially diagnosed, I was due to take my damn, well, I can't even think of the word, the name of the test now, practical exam. And practical exam is what you take to pretty much graduate out.
Mhm.
And I left the neurologist's office. The first neurologist I had was pretty cold. He was just like, yeah, you have multiple sclerosis. And like, and I think you should take this medicine. And it was just like, what the hell is happening right now? But that day I had my practical exam schedule, and I still went to school and took the exam. Now, this is what I'll tell you, piggybacking off of what I just said about pushing yourself. My husband was like, don't go to school, go home, you know, let's process some stuff. And I'm like, no, I got stuff to do. You know, Black woman, put the S on my chest. I got to go to school. I'm trying to graduate. I got this going on or whatever. I cry myself through my practical exam. Like I'm really having a breakdown, but I'm pushing. And the very next day I had the first panic attack that I've ever had. And I think it was just a mental overload of everything, you know. And actually, I had the second part of my practical exam that Saturday. So this was on a Friday. The second part was that Saturday. And that Saturday evening, I had a panic attack while I was driving on the Dan Ryan Expressway. If you know anything about Chicago, that is not the expressway to be playing on. And so, yeah. And just, from pushing myself when I really should have did what my husband said, took my butt home, cried it out, probably for a couple of days, just really felt my feelings instead of pushing. But anyway, I still pushed myself through school, and I immediately started working in the salon. Like, as soon as I graduated, like the next week, my girlfriend, she was my mentor. She put me in a salon with her, and I was doing that. And then she closed down maybe about 6 to 8 months after all of that, like within that first year. She decided that she wanted to close down. And I was like, yeah, no, I can't just sit. I can't be idle. I can't sit and wait and figure it out. So she closed down one week, and I opened up my salon the next week.
Look at you. And what's the name of your salon?
Samantha Curl Highs.
I like it. And you specialize in natural hair?
Specifically tight curls. So natural hair has a whole bunch of different.
It does.
Yeah. So
We
I have
talked
to
about
get
that a little bit because we talked about my daughter, and I'm like, I'm
Right.
trying to bring her natural curl pattern
Yeah.
out, and I've been frustrated, so we keep it braided for her whole life.
Yeah.
But she's getting older.
Mhm.
She's like, I'm kind of getting tired of these beads, and she sees her friends. She goes to a mixed environment school, and so she sees her friends with their hair down and it's straight, and I get it because I was her. I didn't have that good texture. My hair was just like it just was a mess. But now, like she just has all of this hair. It's so much. And I just can't manage. I can't tame it. So she goes to the salon every 3 weeks and we keep it braided, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm just not the one to maintain it. So I may be hitting you up because I
Okay,
think
girl.
that idea that you had about doing virtual instruction, I
Mhm.
think so many people would benefit from that.
Most definitely.
The whole virtual thing really took off during the pandemic.
It did. It
It
absolutely.
really did. It did. Did you start your therapy virtually?
I
Like
did.
your support groups?
Yeah, I did. I actually, even my personal therapist, I've never been in the office before. All of it started virtual, and I just never, even when everything opened back up, we would still do it virtually.
Oh, so you don't go into a place.
So I schedule, and we just like this. We do like a Google Meet video,
Okay,
or
so you a pro at this, girl.
yeah, but it's not live.
But it's
It's
still
not live.
doesn't it still just feel like it's you and I?
It
Because
does. It
it's not,
absolutely.
we have the chat.
Yeah, I
We
haven't
can't
looked
hear
at it
them.
yet, but I know that it's
Or
there.
they love you. I've been trying to put up different things. That's my husband.
I gotta listen when my husband speak. Okay.
That's my husband. So he's
I
like,
know. Listen
yes,
to
yeah.
him.
He called me greedy when I was talking about being a foodie. You see how you do me?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I mean, my chat, they like you,
My
and like
sister.
they always like. I figured I was like, this must be.
That's my
Um,
sister. Hey, sissy, I love you. Thank you for being here.
so look at that family support, which has been very important for you getting through this, and like, you know, I didn't ask you much about like if you had siblings, like how has it affected like your immediate circle outside of like your husband and your kids, your parents, your siblings, the people you grew up with. How is it brought you guys? Has it brought you closer? Do they treat you different? What has that experience been like?
Yeah, it's definitely brought us closer. So my sister that's there, her story Payne, she lives in Mississippi. And I think like throughout all of this, we've both been very sad that she's not here, you know? And so like it's been some times when I had something going on, just like going to get an MRI. Like that's a huge thing because you're finding out if this is getting worse or better, or not, well, not better, if it's getting worse or staying the same.
Right.
And just times when I don't feel good, times when I'm just very emotional. So we talk almost every day. And it's just been some times where I could feel her sadness because she wishes that she was here. My oldest sister, she's very protective. And so I think that her defense mechanism is to just kind of like stay away from it as much as possible. You know, we talk about it, and like if we talk, we have like these very in-depth conversations. Like it's gonna be 4 hours. So I don't talk to her every day. I don't see her often, but if we talk, we're probably gonna talk for 4 hours, and a conversation about gonna end in tears. You know, because it's gonna get very deep. And I think that she even called me one day and was like, I saw your post. You said you didn't feel good, or you said you were going through some stuff. And she was like, I just wanted to call you and apologize because I feel like I watch you doing all the stuff that you do. And I tell myself that you're okay. You know, when in reality, you're telling us now that you're not okay. So that's kind of how she deals with it. And my mom and my stepdad, they live in Mississippi too. And, you know, they're supportive. They're supportive. My mom worries a lot. She worries that I'm not telling her. Yeah, she worries that I'm not telling her when I don't feel good. And, you know, rightfully
Probably are.
Right. I was going to say rightfully so. I don't tell her everything. Because, you know, I'm trying to, I have to push
I get
through.
that.
Yeah, I have to push. Well, I won't say I have to push through. I'm trying to push through. And today I didn't feel good. It doesn't make sense to get on the phone and say, Mom, I don't feel good today. Because tomorrow I'll probably feel just fine. And, you know, I'll be okay. So I don't like to worry her with stuff like that. But it sounds like, girl, sound like something is on my, sound like something is on my rough.
Your picture just shifted behind you.
Oh, did it?
You look like you have 3 pictures lined up behind you. It looked like it just shifted over a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So something
that was that sound.
I'm
Long
like,
as it don't fall on you, girl. You don't want that falling on you.
Right. I know I heard something, but I
saw your face. You look like, what?
What was that? Okay, let me move this because I don't want it to fall.
Yes, please. You talk about you don't feel good. We don't need you taking a trip to the hospital.
Right.
So while she's doing that, you guys, you know, I'm going to allow you guys to start dropping some questions in the chat. And if, you know, in the next few minutes, if Samantha doesn't object, you know, we'll allow a couple people to come up and ask questions if they like.
Most definitely.
If they like to ask some questions, I'll drop the link so that they can do that. You know, your story is amazing. I knew it would be. I knew it would be inspirational, and it's been just that. But I want to know, like, how often would you say you have bad days?
I'll say that I have pain almost every day. I take pain medication daily. So I have pain almost every day. But a bad day, they can last for a couple weeks. Yeah, they can last for a couple weeks. And then for a couple of weeks, I could be just fine. So it's really like a roll of the dice, for real.
It's a roller coaster, for real.
Yeah. And then I try to like figure out, like, is it things that I'm eating? Is, you know, like, is it environmental? Like, what could it be? Because it's like, why for 2 weeks was I perfectly fine? And then all of a sudden I wake up and.
So you try to find your triggers.
Yeah.
Have you been able to pinpoint any of those?
Do
they not exist?
Well, I can say that the majority of the time when I'm not eating well, when I'm eating a lot of fast food, I haven't had any vegetables, I'm not drinking enough water, those are times when I can almost pinpoint when I don't feel well from those things. So it's the discipline of it, just trying to get my life together. And I think that would be helpful. I don't know that it would be the cure, but I think that it's definitely helpful when I'm eating fresher foods and drinking lots of water and just really paying attention to what I'm putting
in. So how long have you been married, if you don't mind me asking?
This year will be 9 years. We've been together 14.
So I can only imagine, because that means you guys had a nice long life together before your diagnosis. And I know if your husband is anything like my husband, like, you're his wife, and it's like the last thing they want to see is you be in pain. You know, men tend to not know what to do.
Yes.
Do you ever find yourself like having to reassure him that you're okay or you're gonna be okay, or does he reassure you that you're gonna be okay?
I think it's mostly him reassuring me, but I see him acting out sometimes. So,
Not
know?
acting out.
Yeah, I see him acting out sometimes, like, cause I just what you said, like he will, if he could do something to make me feel better, he would absolutely do it. And when he can't, he's frustrated, and his frustration comes out in all different types of ways, Um, and so that's when I'm like, I could tell, like, he just has a lot on his plate sometimes with dealing with me being ill. His mother is ill. His father passed
Oh.
last year. So I think that it's been a lot for him. But it's mostly him reassuring me that I'm gonna be okay, because I'll cry in a minute. Like, and a lot of times, like, I could just be standing at the sink and I'm looking and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't want to cry." And all of a sudden I'm just crying. And it could just be because I'm just overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed. It doesn't have to be that I'm in this extreme amount of pain or anything like that. It's just very overwhelming and it's very scary to just not know, what's going to happen.
So what would you say is worse? What is the worst part of this experience? Is it, knowing there's no cure and that the inevitable is the inevitable? Is it the pain? Is it, what would you say the worst part of having MS is?
The two things that I think about the most is that I'm taking a medication that's supposed to help me that hasn't been on the market long enough for me to know if it's going to hurt me.
Mm.
Right. And so that is very scary. So now I like have to be very on top of getting my mammograms and doing all these other things because they don't know, it's a chemo grade medication. And so, but they don't know what all the side effects are because it just hasn't been around long enough for them
Long
to
enough.
have all of the, the side effects. They say it hasn't been linked to cancer, but who knows? So that's scary for me. And the other scary thing for me is not necessarily the pain and stuff that I'm in, but I'm just afraid that one day I'm not going to have my mobility and that not even like a wheelchair or something like that I'm going to be completely immobile where somebody's going to have to do everything for me. And that terrifies me. It terrifies me. And I wouldn't want to put that burden on my husband or my children, right? But I also wouldn't want to be in a nursing home, and have a place, just be in a place where I don't have any control at all over how and when I'm cared for. And so I think that that's the scariest part for me. It's just my future. It's just really scary to not know what this is going to look like for me.
So you said you're 41.
Mm-hmm.
Your diagnosis is relatively recent. You seem very seasoned at managing things, but I know that there's really no such thing because I mean every day is different.
Yeah.
You're probably learning every day.
Yeah.
And you probably surprise yourself every day. I know that they say diagnosis typically comes between the ages of 20 and 40.
Mm-hmm.
If you met a young girl, 20 years old, she just got diagnosed with MS, what would your conversation be with her if she was in a support group with you? What would you say to her?
I would definitely tell her to, if she believes in God, to just have faith in it, first of all, that no matter what things look like God is able, God is real, right? And it's always something there to support you. I would tell her to don't take on people's symptoms. So just because I have this going on, that doesn't mean that that's what you're going to have going on. So if you see somebody that's having mobility or vision issues or anything like that, like trust what's going on with your own body and don't take on all of those other things and just to live. Like I read something and I know that I read it before, but it just really hit me not too long ago. And it's like people say you only live once. And so that you should do all the things. But the truth is, you only die once. You live every single day.
I love that.
And I know that I read it before, but it truly hit me like not too long ago. It's like I get to live every single day. And so one thing that I don't do is I don't dance. I don't know how to dance. But I get to dance. No, girl, I ain't got no rhythm. And both my kids are pretty good at dancing. My daughter is a dancer, actually. And but I think it's probably like a mental thing. I've held myself back from dancing because I thought I wasn't good at it. But I take opportunities to dance now. So it's not that I can't dance like rhythm. But I can dance. I can move. And so that's what I would tell her. Like, take advantage of every opportunity that you get to do something that you think that you couldn't do or you think you wouldn't do under other circumstances. Like, take these opportunities to live, to be a light for somebody else. Being here, just like I feel like the things that we go through, we don't necessarily go through them for ourselves. We go through them so that somebody else can know that they can get through them. And that's what I would just tell her to do. Once you get your bearings, baby girl, once you get it together, after you done prayed and cried and got your support group or whatever, put your big girl panties on and get out there and show people that no matter what these circumstances look like, that you can overcome them.
You said a lot in what you just said. And so I know I said if you if it was a young girl, but men are affected by MS as well.
Definitely.
Statistically a little bit lower than women, but they're still affected. In your support group, do you have any males in your support group, or is it all women?
So only the only support group I'm in that has men in it is like a support group that has that's not specifically for women or Black women, right? So
Okay.
the two support groups that I'm in that I'm very active in are for women and specifically for women of color. But it's a health group that I'm in where people are like living, they're more like naturopaths. That
Oh,
group, yeah, that group has, men, women, all different, nationalities and everything in there. So I'm not really connected to too many men that have multiple sclerosis. It's
okay.
mostly women.
Okay. I have to start getting some men with some of these conditions. I've
Most
reached
definitely.
out. I've never gotten anybody to tell me no, but I've had people who haven't responded. And so usually I'll try to reach out to a male and a female because I never want people to think that I only want to get to the female perspective. Um a lot of the conditions that I discuss affect primarily women, but I always want to know how men feel, going through this process. What
Yeah,
is their mental, going through it all? Because I know it's different. There's, I mean, it's got to be
it's
different,
gotta be.
but there's gonna be some things that you guys gonna have in common. Like we're human,
Right.
right? So having that other side is so important to me. So hopefully, fingers crossed, moving forward, I'll be able to get some men that are willing to come up and share their stories. And even if it's from a support aspect, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? A husband whose wife is going through it, him
Yeah,
explain it because it affects everyone. It's not just that person. And we have to take all of that into consideration as well. I know I do.
definitely.
With the condition I battle with, I'm type 2 diabetic. And that is that has been a whole lifestyle, like changing, like total evolution of myself and my family. Like it's just been a lot to deal with, but it affects the people around me as well. So I always try to make sure that I find out what's going on in here with the people that love me.
Hmm.
Oh, and I'm pretty certain you do the same thing.
Yeah, I check in with my husband periodically, but he a G. He be like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm
What's
okay."
his sign, girl?
He's a Pisces.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yes, he's a Pisces.
He
So
wasn't. I'm gonna talk to you after.
okay.
I knew. I knew it.
You
I
knew
knew it.
it.
I knew it. I
Yeah.
knew it was something you said earlier, and I was like, I wonder if her husband is a Pisces
He's surprised.
because they are different.
Yes.
They're different.
Emotional, but not so emotional.
Oh, say it again.
It's emotional, but not so emotional. Like, what we doing right now? Like, are we showing emotions or no? What are we doing? And
Oh,
it's like the emotions come at the most random moments. So yeah.
yeah. You hear
But
that, Fresh Breezy? Look, Carla came out the bushes for that one. She said, "Yes, I knew you were still listening, girl." Start talking about them Pisces. People start coming out the bushes.
listen,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, so I have someone in the back. I'm assuming that he wants to come up and either ask a question or share. He was in the chat,
Okay.
sharing some personal information down there. And so I'm assuming he wants to come in and get in on this conversation. So I'm gonna add him to the stream. You guys welcome Mills Lane. Hey Mills Lane.
Hey,
Hi.
how y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
How are
Good to
you?
see you.
All right. First, I want to thank Lady Fresh for bringing this topic up. Real important to me. Second of all, I want to thank Samantha for sharing all that you were sharing this evening, and what you're going through. I don't personally have, but um, throughout my family and friends, I've experienced some of the hardships as far as what they had to go through and just trying to be there for them as far as with multiple sclerosis. um I was trying to share in the chat the link to the MS Society,
Mm-hmm.
and like I participated in like some of the walks. I'm in Philadelphia, so they have the walk, MS walk, Philadelphia. So it's like, it's real important that, you know, I think awareness was real, was a good look for today.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the support that you've given to your family and friends and the walks and all of those things. Like, it means a lot. I'm actually doing my first MS walk this month, this year too. And
Okay.
I'm going to be a team captain. I think I'm failing at it because I haven't done any of the things that I'm supposed to do
Oh,
to get my team together. But listen, we're going to walk regardless of whatever. I just haven't had a lot of time, but this will be my first time doing it. And I think it's going to be like, it's going to mean a lot to me to see some people who love me to be there with me. So kudos to you for supporting the people in your life.
No, that's no problem. It's like, you were talking about some of the things like your triggers and things like that, and I find it interesting. Like my best friend, he was the best man at my wedding. Um, he when he got the diagnosis, it's like, young age. We like, you just got our 20s. We playing basketball together. Now all of a sudden,
Hmm.
he's like, he can't even move, and we were trying to figure out like, what it could have been, and part of it, was the diet
Yeah.
and some of the things they ate. Another thing that really came across was stress.
Yes.
mhm.
We didn't talk about that, but yeah.
And he got out of like a lot of stressful situations. His walking came back,
Hmm.
his ability to like drive a car, a lot of things like that he couldn't do. When he got out of the stressful situations, he was able to start doing them again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like how you feel about the way stress comes across for somebody with MS.
So I've been in some situations that causes my body to vibrate.
Okay.
And so I know, and it's like very tense situations, chaos, just a lot of stuff happening around me that doesn't normally happen, that can trigger for my body to, and this was even before I was diagnosed. I noticed it the first time. But I didn't, and I wasn't even going through a diagnosis at the time. Like, I just knew it was some crazy shit happening around me, and my body was literally like vibrating. It felt like I was sitting on something that had my body doing this, but it really wasn't. It was just like internally doing it. And then after diagnosis, I was in a similar situation and it happened again. And so, yes, stressful situations can definitely trigger me. And just, just having too much on my mind. So one of the things that I've tried to do, which I'm not so consistent with it, is meditation. I try to meditate twice a day, 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes each time, to just kind of release some of those tensions that are happening naturally in your body. And yeah, exercise, just really trying to take it easy, stay away from conversations that don't feel good. Like all of that makes a difference. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay.
That's so important because I feel like we already have a hard time managing stress as it is.
Hmm.
And then to have a condition where stress can exacerbate it makes it more stressful. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times that's where anxiety comes from. Because
Yeah.
I know for me, I believe that's where the source of my anxiety came from. Um, Stress. Like
Mm.
just being stressed about things, overthinking things. And like I felt like that came to me naturally. And then illness, I don't know, it all just seems compounded. So finding a way to deal with that, meditation, prayer, support group, whatever, like those things are so important, and to speak about it and encourage people to do it is
Yeah.
important too, because like I said, I feel like our community feels like, we can't talk about these things, we can't talk about these things with other people, and we need to start debunking that and making it normal. Normal to have these dialogues, to have safe spaces like this, to bring attention to the things that other people aren't talking about, because it's affecting us at an alarming rate and we don't even know it.
Exactly.
Let me see. I feel like I saw a question from Fresh Breezy earlier. Let me see if I can find it. If anybody else has any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. So Fresh Breezy asks, does the pain have you bedridden, or can you still do everyday activities?
Yeah, nothing has ever had me bedridden per se. My pain levels have been pretty high though, where it's harder for me to do stuff. And it's ironic that like the pain that I can have, it should feel like I can't walk. It should feel like I have pain in my foot. My left side just really bothers me a lot. And the type of pain that I feel sometimes, it should feel like when I get up, I would be limping, because typically if your leg or your foot hurts, it's going to create a limp, right?
Mm.
But because it's nerve pain, it doesn't make me limp. It's just hurting. You know what I mean? And so nothing has ever really had me bedridden, but I've had some pretty high levels of pain. And a lot of times I can push myself through, but after a couple of days, it's pretty exhausting. So, like today, I hadn't really felt good since Sunday. Today is Wednesday. It's like pretty exhausting to the point where it's like I just need a day now to just kind of rest my body, rest my mind, and try to regroup. So thankfully, I haven't been bedridden. I know some people who are though.
Right, because like you mentioned earlier, this particular condition is progressive.
Yes.
Let's see. Davion says, I believe all diseases are curable. It depends on what you and the environment that you are around. There might be some truth to that. Diseases might all be curable, but some of them we just ain't found it yet. So, we got to do what we got to do to be able to survive it.
Right. And I think I believe that. Like, I believe God gave us everything we need in the land. It's
Mhm.
just such a collection of things that you have to do, a collection of things that you have to eliminate. You know what I mean? It can be so much that is, and things are just not as accessible as we would need them to be, right? For us to just be able to live as healthy as we could, as we would want to live. So I think that is definitely some truth to it. It's just
Absolutely.
finding out what it is.
That, and it's also a combination of dealing with big pharma
Mm-hmm.
who wants to pump a medication to fix everything.
Yeah.
That instant gratification kind of thing. Like, all right, you have diabetes, take this pill
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of your life. That's slowly killing your kidney,
Yeah.
right? Most of the time, like he said, is things we have to find the things around us. It's a collective of things
Yeah.
that end up helping you either cure it or live and maintain it better than a lot of the medications that are being pumped into us from the doctors.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a big issue.
Most definitely.
It's a big issue.
And like Samantha even said, a lot of them are very experimental medicines. It's like, where they really don't really know all the side effects. And, the testing is so new, that yeah, your body could just be taking in something that, might not be made for, let's say, our people. If anybody know what that means,
Right.
Mhm.
so just got to be careful
Yeah.
and prayerful.
Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
I was going to
Most
ask you how much your faith plays into, we talked about the family. You have your support group, you have a regimen that you stick to most times.
Most
As
times.
far as your eating, I'm assuming you add some exercise into that too.
Mm-hmm.
You got your grandbaby, which is probably the best therapy.
That's my baby.
What is how much does spirituality and faith play into you being able to cope with your condition?
It's huge. I guess like right now, I constantly say like, I don't know. I talk to God like how I talk to you. Like, I don't know what you up there doing, bruh, but listen here. You know what I mean? So I'm in a place with God where I don't understand. I don't feel like anybody deserves anything bad to happen to them, right? But specifically, I'm like, okay, God, I try to do all the right stuff. Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've been going to bed at 9 o'clock since I was probably born.
Oh, I'm jealous of you.
So, I mean, I have some later days, but I'm pretty routine with everything that I do. And I just didn't feel like this was my cup. Like, let this pass me. Like, this shouldn't have been for me. But I trust that God's plans are so much bigger than what I could see, than what I can understand. And that in everything else that He's put in front of me, being a teenage mom, and just any of the other adversities that I've had to face, like it's all worked out and it's worked out for my good and it helped me to help somebody else. So that's where I am with this. Like I'm angry. Me and God are not on great terms right now because I'm like, I don't understand why did this happen to me? But I still say yes, and I still say yes to whatever it is that I'm supposed to do with this. And so I had a dream even before I was diagnosed that God told me that I was going to have a good life, that it wasn't going to be easy, but that it was going to be good. And this was God's words to me. And I stand on that today, that I am going to have a good life and that it's not going to always be easy, which this isn't easy, but that is going to be a good life. And I guess I'm just supposed to do what I'm doing, that this is what God will want me to do, to talk to people and allow people to see that MS also looks like this. And even if MS begins to transition for me, what it looks like, then in my transitioning, I'm just going to still have to be vocal about what the transition has been. I pray that I'm always this healthy. I pray that I'm always this able. But if I'm not this healthy and if I'm not this able, I see people, social media gives us such an outlet where you see things that you would have never ever seen had social
Mhm.
media not existed. And so we see people live in these extraordinary lives under the most, excruciating or unconventional circumstances. And so I stand on that's my cup. That if I have to have this cup, that God is still gonna bless me, that I'm still going to be able to do some amazing things even with this. So that's where my faith is with this. I'm upset about it. I'm not okay with it. But since I'm here, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, what God will want
Doing
me.
it, girl. You doing it. I feel like you're doing it.
Well, thank you.
You know, we can always be better, but you're doing it. You're being an example. You came out today in a situation where you weren't the most comfortable at first. You're like, I don't know about that. I don't really do this. But you're allowing God to use you. So you've already started putting the work in. You're being an example. So um I definitely think you're gonna have a good life. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not
This
easy.
is your particular journey. If it wasn't this, it would be something else.
Hmm.
That's not easy. I feel like that's the story of life. You know what I mean? But you're living it. You're definitely an inspiration. I mean, you started a business, finished school, went through a whole pandemic, grandmother, wife, like you are beating the odds because I was reading that, believe it or not, even above other chronic illnesses and cancer, that people with MS have the highest rate of depression
Yes.
of all conditions. I would have never guessed that. I would have never, because, and I think a lot of it has to do with the uncertainty.
That uncertainty is a MF. Okay.
Yeah. Because like with most cancers, you can treat it, you can even go into remission. You know, you're at a stage where, okay, more than likely I'm not going to survive. Like I feel like there's more of a destination.
Yes.
It doesn't make it any better. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But
No,
I'm just saying
exactly.
like
It's not comparable,
it's not comparable, right?
but it's,
But
yeah.
with MS, it's so much uncertainty. Will I move my hand like I did yesterday? Will I be able to take care of myself or end up in a nursing home because of this condition? Like reading about that, it made sense to me why this condition would be the one that people are most depressed, have the most depression. It makes a lot of sense.
It does. And I said, people will say, like, well, at least it's not cancer. And, it's like, I wouldn't want cancer either.
Right.
My grandson's other grandmother is actually, she just like went through a whole bunch of chemo and, she's well today. Praise God. Like she came out very well. And I wouldn't want that either, but it's like there's nothing that can, as of now, I'm change my words. There hasn't been anything that has cured this. There hasn't been anything that took it away. And so there is, there's just like this space that you're in of just uncertainty forever, like you just don't know what's next or,
Mhm.
So and even having these routine MRIs, that shit is stressful.
Mm.
It's stressful to know that I'm going to have an MRI that can tell me one way or another. And guess what? If the MRI says that my disease has progressed, that says that the medication that I'm taking is not working. That's what that means. And so then now I have to move on to another medication, which in all honesty, I'm at the top tier of those medications already. So there's not going to be a lot of wiggle room for me if this doesn't work because because of where my lesions are located, even though I didn't have extreme symptoms, my lesions are in places that could cause disability quickly, right? And so therefore it's like they needed to start me on something
Aggressive.
very aggressive. And so there's not a whole lot after this. So it's, yeah,
Not right now.
not right now.
Not right now. And I just want to be positive and but the other side of that is, it'll all be experimental. You know what I mean? Because like
Exactly.
you said, what you're doing now hasn't even been around very long. But we're gonna keep you in our prayers.
I appreciate
And
that,
you
sis.
I feel like you have a long life ahead of you, a good life ahead of you. And it's obvious that you are loved because you got some people in this chat,
I
girl,
do.
who are shouting you out. I'm assuming that Angelica Gavin is one of your friends,
That's my
maybe.
bestie. Hey,
Yes, she
boo.
says, Samantha, kudos to you for speaking publicly about this. What can I/friends and family do to support you more throughout this journey? I love you, boo. Look, got the orange heart. Um, they're supporting you. There's somebody else down here. Is it Kiosha?
Yes, that's my niece.
Auntie, the boys are yelling hi through the phone.
Hey, boys. I love you guys. I miss y'all so much.
Man, so I mean, there goes that family support
Yeah.
that we talked about. And I mean, like, even so, you were having a bad day today, and even though I was ready to tell you, girl, if you can't do it today, I totally understand. But I feel like something good is really coming out of you being here today. And your family obviously feels the same way, and they're listening to you and they're supporting you and they're offering you more support. They want to know how else they can keep supporting you. So you obviously mean a lot to a lot of people. My chat seems to like you and love you. So you definitely have to come back
Thank
um,
you.
and see us again. Don't be a stranger
Most
to the
definitely.
first perspective, your story again. Um, I liked doing it this way. I don't know that I can do that with everyone. I think
Mhm.
that you were special, honestly. I think that you were special because I took a chance, and I'm a person that really likes to prepare and over prepare and prepare again. And then when I haven't thought I prepared enough, I prepare
Don't
some
prepare some
more.
more.
Yeah, I'm a Capricorn. So I'm just like, yeah, all over the place with stuff like that. So um Mills Lane, did you have anything else that you wanted to ask or add to this conversation?
No, I'm just glad that Samantha, you got a nice support system with the family. I said you said you were in a group. Um, I'm just glad that you have a support system because, like Lady Fresh was saying earlier, the depression aspect is very serious. I just remember like countless talks with my best friend and how it's like this is before he had kids and it's like it was like some real tough conversations and luckily I say luckily blessedly we both had faith and belief in God and to help lean on it to get through some of those conversations, but at the same time I was happy when he finally figured out the whole stress aspect,
Mhm.
got himself out of some situations, able to move, um, get to a place where he can meet somebody, make a couple kids, and him dedicating his life to his sons. I see how positive that aspect, and it's just like how your grandchild will do for you, and my granddaughter do for me. It's like you just get that rededication and that positive energy that can flow through you to keep you well. And you know I heard what you said about God, and we all got our personal journeys with God, and or if we believe in God. So the way I go about it from a different aspect myself. So I appreciate everything you said. Um, and this, like I said, thanks for bringing up bringing what you brought to the table here for the and multiple sclerosis awareness month.
Thank you.
And thank you as well again, Lady Fresh, for this topic. Because as soon as I seen it, I was like, wait a minute, I'm listening. I said, I know I'm gonna be listening. I was eating. I was like, but Fresh was like, yeah, come up. I'm like, all right, yeah. And you dropped the link. I
Oh,
said,
you
yeah, I
always
definitely got to come
welcome.
up.
You always add. You add so much. to any platform that you hit. So, you're always welcome. I'm always happy to see you when you're in the chat. This gentleman has been a supporter of me since day one. From the premiere of another show that I did, he was one of the first guests on the very first episode of that show, and he has frequented this panel as well. So I'm always gonna be a big fan of General Solutions. Mills, like, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, bro.
Thanks, guys. Yep. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You.
too. So I'm gonna start wrapping up, but I did want to ask you. We have no intention of you going anywhere anytime soon. You're gonna live that long, good life.
Yeah.
But do you have a bucket list?
Yeah.
What's on it?
So I want to go to Bali and I want to go alone. I want to go alone.
You know what?
So
There's something about traveling by yourself, girl.
Yeah, and I've never. The most I've done by myself is like not even by myself. I took my daughter to Mexico, and it was just the two of us. And my husband
was by yourself today,
right? My husband was having a fit, like y'all going alone. I'm like, it's not alone. We're together. But yeah, I want to go to Bali, and I want it to be like a spiritual retreat. Like Eat, Love, Pray is one of my favorite movies. Okay. Have you ever watched that?
I've started it, but I haven't finished it. But
you gotta watch it.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
You gotta watch it. It's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. And I know some Black women who've gone to Bali, and they said that they just had they had a similar experience. It's just like this awakening, and it's this just a beautiful place for you to reset and relax and retreat. So yeah, I want to go to Bali. I want to buy a new house. I want to buy a car cash.
You want to buy what? You want to buy a car cash?
Cash. I want to buy one cash. I want to bucket list stuff. Like I just want to travel, and I want to like be able to do things for my family, my kids.
So, girl, I'm a travel agent too, right?
Period. I did not know, girl. So we need to talk.
Because like one of my good girlfriends that's a travel agent as well just went to Bali. She goes like every 2 years.
So yeah. So why does she go back every 2 years? What is
something very spiritual about that place? And so when you said it, I was like, girl, that sounds like an amazing trip. I don't know that I'm ready to do a trip like that by myself, but I've always wanted to organize a trip like, it's gonna sound weird, but just like with strangers, like with women, like from all over.
And when I say alone, that's what I mean. Like I want to go with a group of people that I don't know, but that I don't have to be attached to. Right? You know that.
No, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I don't want the distraction. Like my sisters, they everything, right? But you kind of like get into the what do you want to do? What do you like to do?
Yeah, well, it's a time and a place for everything. This trip is different for you. Like, you know what I mean? So I listen. We vibing, girl. I totally get it.
So look, you need to make sure when you plan that one, but you said you're not ready yet. But when you plan
no, so I could do something like that if it's still a group trip. Like I don't. When you said alone,
yeah, no, I don't want to go like.
I don't know. I go all the way to Bali.
Nah, I was actually.
I go to the movies alone. I go out to eat alone all the time. I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. So I go to the restaurant and I have no problem sitting in the restaurant at a big old table by myself. I've never had a problem doing anything by myself.
Yeah. So I actually almost booked it this year. With a women's group.
With a woman,
somebody that I follow on Instagram, and I follow them pretty closely. So I'm like, okay,
good. We're gonna have to talk. Let me know when you going.
Listen, I almost booked it, but it was just like I would have been off work far too long because it's like a 2-day travel. So it's almost 2 days there, 2 days back, being there for a week. That's damn near.
Yeah, because you gotta stay for at least like 7 days for
Yeah.
I've gone to Qatar 3 times.
How was that?
Qatar is beautiful. It's a beautiful Middle Eastern country. It's a lot of culture. And I went by myself, but I was under the protection of like the doctor that I was traveling with. I had a driver. Even though I did elude the driver one time and take an Uber because I just wanted to take an Uber. But it's like, don't do that again.
You wanted to live on the wild side.
I did. That was my wild thing. But yeah, like, it was a beautiful place. And I often tell people when I went there, because of course my family was nervous about me going to the Middle East. And so, I did my research. I checked to see what the terror level was. It was the first time I went, it was like yellow.
Okay.
The second time I went, it was orange.
Okay.
It wasn't red though. So I was good. But I always I would always like I said, I'm a planner. I do my due diligence. So I did my research and I was like, okay, first thing I'm gonna do is make sure I check in with the US Embassy. It's always recommended whenever you go to a foreign country, because most people don't like us. Okay? That's just a fact. You go to a foreign country, go to the Middle East, register with the US Embassy, and I stay at US chain hotels.
Okay.
I went for work, so it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to stay at the US chain hotel because it's in America. But that way, if something happened, because it was a lot going on in that region at the time. They were trying to get their president out of there. Like, it was a lot going on. So I did those things to keep myself safe, so that if anything happened, if there was any kind of civil war, anything that erupted there, I would be extracted first, because they knew exactly where I was, and I was in a US hotel chain. But it was a beautiful country. And Trump was president at the time, and he would, at the time he was saying a lot of crazy off the wall things about Muslims. And while I know he was crazy for what he was saying, like, I knew that it was all bull, it was crap. To be able to go there and see for myself that these people live just like us.
Yeah.
They work just like us. They pray just like us, probably more and better than us.
I was
Really,
gonna say
because
that they're probably way more peaceful
Oh,
people
way
than we
more.
are.
Way more. No crime.
Yeah.
Aside from, trying to plot to get the president out of there, but it was a beautiful thing. Like, it was a lot of culture. I got to see a lot of things made by hand. The food is not processed. It was fresh. I mean, and the country shuts down when they gotta pray. They praying. Everybody's praying. You don't even need to walk. Don't walk. Stay still. They take it seriously. You know what I mean? And they want to feed you, and they were so welcoming. Like, it was nothing like I ever experienced anywhere. I mean, I go to Mexico, I go to Jamaica, but being in the Middle East was I came home and got my kids' passports, because I was like, I need them to be exposed to other cultures.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the best trips I ever took, and I went alone. It was for work, but I stayed like an extra day or two so that I'd be able to take in some of the culture. So Qatar is actually a really nice place to go. It's the richest place in the world. They have no debt. And at the time that I went, they were actually building new infrastructure for the 2023 FIFA World Cup, right? So they had all of these new buildings coming. So I really want to go back, because I can only imagine that it looks completely different now.
Oh, well, look, that's on my list of things too now. Qatar.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing is, like, you go to Qatar, you want to go somewhere flashy like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, but you can't travel to those places from Qatar because they don't get along. So flights don't go. They used to. Flights don't go, or you can't, even though it's only like 6 hours away, you can't travel from Qatar.
A straight flight there.
Like, you can't even take a passage. Like, if you wanted to go by land, yeah, you might not make it. Like, it's like that. So a lot of times you might have to go to a neighboring country, connect, and then go. They may have changed that now. I don't know what's going on over there now, but I know at the time, yeah, it wasn't, a lot of people just wasn't feeling Qatar at the time. But
you did. You had a good time.
I had a beautiful time. I went over there, made money. I got paid to go on vacation.
Period.
So yes, I love that traveling is on your bucket list. And is there anything else that you want to do?
Anything else that I want to do?
You said buy a house.
Yeah, I want to buy another house. I'm in a house now, but I don't want this one no more. I want a new one.
She said, I don't want this one. No.
I want a new one. Yeah, I think buying a car cash, that's like a flex. I just want to be able to do that.
So when you say buy a car cash, you mean like a new car?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
girl. Yeah, you.
yeah.
Let
That's
me
a
know who-
flex.
That is a flex. That's
That's
a
a
flex on a
flex.
whole nother level for real.
Yeah, I want to be able to do that one day. And I don't even know why that's the thing for me because,
Yeah,
like,
I never heard nobody say that. That's like their goal,
yeah,
their flex. I
like,
like that though. I
yeah,
want my car cash. Get your
period.
weight up. Get your weight up.
Yeah, I wanna be able to do that. And what else? I would love, like, so my daughter she's a junior right now, and I'm constantly telling her
Somebody said,
that
"What kind of car?" Real quick.
what kind of car? I don't know even.
It's
So
gonna be expensive, BDB, because she want to pay cash and flex.
right now, if I could buy the car that I wanted, I would buy a Jaguar truck. If I could buy the car that I wanted,
That's expensive.
yeah, a white one. All my cars,
Husband, are you
all my
listening,
cars.
husband?
Yeah, are you listening, babe? You see, I changed my voice. You listening, babe?
I can afford to buy a 1999 Geocache. Did Geo still? They were still making new Geos in 1999. You
So
play
I
too much.
had a 2000 Chevy Metro. That's almost the same thing, right? Geo,
I thought Geo
yeah,
Metro. I thought it was a Geo Metro.
right. I think it. Yeah, I think it's. I had a 2000.
I didn't know they was in the
Or
2000s.
was it a 99 or 2000? The shit might have been a 99. I don't remember. It was either a 99 or a 2000 Chevy Metro. And no, we don't want that.
That is funny.
And it had semi-power steering.
I could buy that too. I could probably buy that today. Buy a couple of those.
I was struggling. But what I was saying is that my daughter is a junior in high school, and I found myself constantly telling her, like, I don't have no money to send you to college. Girl, you better get these scholarships. You better. Bucket list is by the time my grandson gets ready to go to college, I want to be able to really help, if not pay for it. So money.
You got to start that.
These funds is on my bucket list. I need them funds. God, do you hear me? Since I gotta have this thing, you better make this shit worth my while. You hear me?
I really love how transparent you are. This entire show, you've been very transparent about. I don't know if you would call them mistakes that you've made, but just like, how you said, I didn't keep up with going to the doctor. Like, we know that we have issues with our healthcare system as Black women. But you didn't put it all on the doctor, which can be done easily. You knew that you weren't keeping the appointments. You knew that you needed to do X, Y, and Z, and you hold yourself accountable for that. And I really respect you for that, because a lot of people won't do that. And just a few other things that you said throughout the show is just like, yeah, me and God ain't getting along right now. Like, how many people's gonna tell you that they ain't vibing with God right now? It's a very transparent statement to make. You know what I mean? Like, it's very real.
And I know that people sometimes wouldn't want to hear it. Like elders, they would probably be like, you're not supposed to say that. Well, my relationship with God is personal. Yeah. And I know that God knows my heart for real. Like, God knows I love God. I'm going to cuss. I like to cuss, and I love God, right?
Wait, did you say you like to cuss?
I like to cuss. Like, I want to stop cussing,
I like
but
her
I
so
like
much
to cuss too.
Funny.
I like to cuss. So it's like, but I know God knows my heart. And so even in I don't understand. You know what I mean? I don't understand this, but I still trust that God has a plan for me. So I don't owe that to nobody else to be like, well, I trust God and it's all well. No, it's not well in my soul.
I don't think anybody can say that.
But people will, because that's what people think that you're supposed to say. This is not well with my soul. It is not well.
Girl. All right, now she's quoting the hymnals now, y'all.
I am not okay with this. I am mad, but I still trust God even in the midst of that.
That's so beautiful. And that just shows that you got that life that you want, that life that you said that you want to have. I think I think you're going to be around for a long time, and I think you're going to be healthy for a long time. You're going to get to do the things that you want to do. You're going to get to do that for your grandson. Like it's in you. You know what I mean? You start in the business. You said you wanted to break some generational curses or whatever it was. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
that's exactly what you
that's
said,
what I
but
said.
yeah, like you want to change some things, and it sounds like you're doing it. Do you think that some of that is attributed to your condition, or were you kind of on the route anyway?
I was on a route anyway, but it kind of like accelerated me.
Excellent.
It's definitely accelerated me. I want the memories that my people have of me, my kids, my grandkids, my family, the impression that I leave on people, I want it to be felt for sure. I
Well, you
want it.
definitely left an impression on us.
Well,
And we only known you for 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 16
and it
seconds.
doesn't even feel like it's been
It
that long.
doesn't.
I
It
feel like
doesn't.
we've been just
I
vibing.
love these kind of shows. Like, I feel like, I go back and forth with God myself about this show because, when my brother passed, I was doing a show once a month. And then even before that, I was entering busy season. My busy season is like September to like April
Mhm.
for what I do. So I wasn't really doing the show as consistently as I need to be. And so, but I talk to God about it often, and I feel like He keeps telling me, like, you have to use your voice. You have to, yes, you have to create this bridge. Like, I keep getting told, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I had absolutely, like, I wasn't on this road. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, would I be sitting here in front of you conducting an interview on YouTube with people looking at me and I can't see them? I'd be like, heck no. Are you crazy? No way. In fact, the person that first asked me if I ever would consider doing this is in the chat right now, behind the bar 3.0. He was like, Lady Fresh, you can come, you can hold a conversation. You ever thought about doing something? I'm like, what? No. Mm-mm.
Mm.
I want to say that was like, I don't know what month that was. But by September of that year, we launched our first show. It lasted for 5 great months. It was a very similar structure as far as like bringing content to empower people, to educate, to bring awareness. But now I got full control. You know what I mean? I set the terms of what I want to do for my show. So I really enjoy doing the solo content and like connecting with people and meeting people, and like all the people that I've interviewed so far, man, you ladies have been so inspiring, empowering. Like nobody has been like I felt like they were fake, or they just were let me do this interview and get off. I never felt any of that. The conversation I had with you was very organic, and it's been the same across the board. Maybe I'm just doing a good job picking people. I don't know.
And it speaks to who you are too. So give yourself some credit. Like you are very authentic. I feel like I already know you too. So it's not like you put on this type of air. The same way that you were when we talked on the phone, this is who you are right now. So you're attracting like people. So you are doing the thing that you're supposed to do. And I'm really
Yeah.
grateful that you chose me to do this. And I pray that your platform just continues to grow because you are a content creator that is building.
I'm building. Yeah, you see, she checked me real quick. I was like, I ain't never had nobody just meet me and be like, lady. We didn't. It's power in words. I was like, you're right. I'm building. So I stole this little game from another content creator, and I think I'm gonna start doing it at the end of every show just to change gears a little bit.
Okay.
It's like 10 I don't know what he called it. I stole it from Sean G.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it this or that, and I'm just gonna ask you what you prefer, this or that, and we just gonna do that, and that's how we're gonna end the show. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
All right. I'm ready.
This is the clean version, y'all. So if you on the other platform, I can't ask them kind of questions. This ain't. She says she like to cuss, but she ain't said she into all that other stuff. So we gonna keep it clean. All
Well,
right.
invite me on that show another time.
Huh?
I said invite me.
Girl,
I won't invite my mama now.
I know. Yeah, see now. Yeah. So Sean G, he don't even be doing his show no more. He needs to start doing. I was like, man, I want to be like him when I grow up. He's so committed. Every day at 9 o'clock, he was doing a show every day, and then I think there's a lot of YouTube politics. A lot. There's some negativity. There's some great stuff here. I learn a lot, but I think sometimes people get burned out and they need a break. So I guess he's on a break, but he needs to come back. He was in here earlier, so salute to Speaker Box, Sean G. Okay, you ready? Just the clean version, y'all. All right. Baked or fried?
Fried.
City or country?
Country.
Hip hop or R&B?
Ooh, shit.
You do like the
R&B. Yeah.
Sticking with that one? You sure? You look like you're not sure.
I love Tupac and Biggie, but my life is R&B though.
I'm with you.
My life is R&B. I'm R&B.
New York City or Vegas?
New York.
Paris or France?
Paris.
Night out or night in?
What are we doing? Night out.
Mexican food or Chinese food?
Girl, Mexican. Oh my God.
Right there with you. Fruit or vegetables?
Vegetables.
Wedding or courthouse?
Small wedding.
Okay. I'll let you get away with that one. Okay, a little compromise there. All right. Cruise or resort?
Oh my God. I love both. Resort.
And the last one. Whitney or Mariah?
Girl, Whitney all day. Nippy, that is my boo.
Nippy, yes. A lot of people don't know about Nippy. That
girl,
you're a real Whitney Houston fan.
Did you watch this last movie that went to theater?
I have not.
I have not. Every other movie about Whitney Houston was trash.
I didn't watch many of them at all.
I think I watched 2. I know I watched at least 1, but this movie I cried through the entire movie, but it was like overwhelming, happy, just because I'm a super fan and I never got a chance to see her live. My husband looked at me, he was like, "Are you crying again?" I'm like, listen, if they let her die in this movie, if they let her die the way that she died, like if they don't fix this, you're gonna have to carry me up out of here, because it's gonna be a funeral and I'm gonna be a participant to this funeral and I am gonna fall out at the casket. Okay.
Oh my God.
He was like, I hope they fix it, but it was beautifully done. Of course she passes because she passed, right. But it was a beautiful transition that I didn't have to get carried out the theater. Watch the movie. Well, it's so good. If you're a fan, watch it.
Well, I definitely will. I got so much stuff that I'm trying to catch up on, so I'll definitely have to add that to my list. For sure. I really loved. I mean, both of those ladies are powerhouses.
They
are like you. I don't know. It's something about Whitney. She just commands a room.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So I definitely I miss her music. Mm-hmm. I do. I miss her music. So I think I would have picked Whitney too.
Yeah, Whitney is everything.
But Miss Samantha, I want to thank you so much for blessing the Fresh Perspective with your presence. It was really a joy to talk to you. It was a joy to hear your story. And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to you for agreeing to come here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you thinking so much of me to ask me to be on. And I appreciate all of your listeners and all of the things. And if my mom and my dad are here, we do this thing when we're getting off the phone. So girl, I thought my mom was insane because she was like, I got my 2 fingers up. And I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? She was like, I watched a commercial and it was for MS and they put their two fingers up. And I'm like, girl, I was so irritated with her this day. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of this before. I'm in a lot of MS communities and I ain't never. So I messed around and told my daughter, and my daughter was like, Ma, they do this in a commercial. And I'm like, I ain't never. So now I need to apologize to my mom. So I went back and apologized. Like, I still ain't seen the commercial, but Zoe told me that it's a commercial. So now when we end our conversations, whether we're doing a FaceTime or even if we're on the phone, she'd be like, I got my two fingers up. So if
So it's
mama,
not peace, it's for
victory.
I like that.
So if y'all are here, I got my two fingers up.
Oh, I'm gonna put
We
my
gonna
two
be
fingers up. I want everybody in the chat. Go ahead, put the two fingers
the
up.
two
Drop
fingers
emoji.
up,
It's not gonna be the peace sign. It's gonna be for victory. So I want to see my chat light up right now with
y'all.
the victory sign for our Samantha Smith. She is my MS warrior today. We
Y'all are
salute
so
you,
dope.
Samantha.
Thank you, sis. My fingers are up for you guys too. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome. Don't be a stranger.
Well,
We gonna
not.
talk behind it. We're gonna talk behind the scenes.
We connected now. You
Yeah,
my friend.
we are. And you ain't far.
Huh? I'm
You're
not
not
far.
far. I'm in Kansas City.
Oh, well, see. Okay.
Yep, I'm in Kansas City. So girl, we're gonna talk about some trips.
Most definitely. I wish you much continued success, sis. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And anytime you want to come over, if you know, because now you broke that ice. You're good. You
So
you did
we can
this
just talk
like
about anything.
yeah, girl, you like to cuss. You can catch a show because my shows, it's a positive space, but I'm gonna keep it real. We
Did
are
I get in
not,
trouble today?
huh?
Did I get in trouble for the cuss words?
No. Girl,
Okay.
we are not, no, it's not like that. But even though I like to do shows that are inspiring, educational. I want to bring real content.
Mhm.
We have a good time too. We might, my husband and I do shows together sometimes when he's not doing his own show. So we'll do shows together and we'll literally just get up here and talk shit to each other.
Okay.
Um,
Love it.
we have a game night coming up soon. We're gonna be giving away cash prizes, and just having a good time. And so it's not always an interview situation.
Okay.
Sometimes we just come up here and we might talk about current events, something that we've seen going on, in the news, or just relationship talk.
Mhm.
I want to really do a panel with, maybe like 3 other couples where we talk about, different relationship things. So I don't know if your husband does social media or public speaking or anything, but
I'll
you guys are more than welcome to join a panel and we can talk about something that everybody will be comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try to have a good time over here. So
Like-
don't be a stranger, you happen to be at home and you can throw on a throwback Lady Fresh episode.
Most definitely. I'm definitely gonna catch up and see what else you've been talking about. But I will be tuning in going forward.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. Don't be a stranger and
Got my
thank
two
you.
fingers up, mama.
That's right, mama. I got my 2 fingers up too, mama. Look, the chat got the 2 fingers up. We got a couple
Thank you,
people.
y'all.
We got a few people that's listening.
There's a few people still left.
And
Hey, boo.
then you said that's your best friend.
Yes.
Okay, girl. Hey, best friend. You have an amazing best friend. All right. Well, that is going to conclude our interview. I'm gonna let Miss Samantha go. You get some rest. I hope
Thank
that
you,
you feel
darling.
better. I'll definitely be checking in on you. I check in on all my ladies, so
All right.
I'll be checking in on you, see how you doing.
All right. I appreciate
All right.
you. Good night.
Good night. All right, you guys. Well, I think that was a really good interview. Like every time I do one of these, I feel so good. Like I don't know. I feel like I did something good, that I learned something. I feel like I was able to give you guys something that you may not have known or been exposed to. I love these episodes. I love doing the interviews and I want to do more of them. So I picked multiple sclerosis because and I think my goal was to pick um topics that or conditions or whatever the awareness for that month. I wanted to pick things that people didn't really know, that people may not have heard of before, things that may not have been highlighted as much as some other things. And while I feel like, we all have heard of multiple sclerosis, I really thought it would be good to have someone come talk about the condition, and shed some light on some of the things that she's been through and the fact that she's still living the hell out of the life that God has given her. So salute to you again, Samantha, for coming through and doing that. Some of the I was gonna read what some of the other awarenesses are for the month. So let's see. The month of March also includes Disability Awareness Month. It's also Cerebral Palsy Awareness, Color Therapy Month, Colorectal Cancer Month, DVT Month, Prevention Awareness Month, which is deep vein thrombosis. It's a very dangerous condition. Um, Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, Endometriosis Awareness Month. I know probably 5 or 6 women that suffer from endometriosis. Um, you know, the month is almost over, but I may try to fit in another one of these awarenesses this month. Let's see. Kidney Month, Kidney Cancer Awareness Month, Myeloma Action Month, Multiple Sclerosis Month, Red Cross Month, Self Injury Awareness Month, Brain Injury Awareness Month, um, Adopt and Rescue a Guinea Pig Month. Okay, well, that's different. Some of the awareness weeks include Professional Pet Sitter Week. Okay, pet sitters are important. World Glaucoma Week. Okay. National Animal Poison Prevention Week. So, and the list goes on, y'all. There's awarenesses for you. If you name it, there's probably an awareness for it. Um, Triple Negative Breast Cancer Day was on March 3rd. And we actually had a panelist on my show back in November that was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, and she's thriving and surviving. She checks in with me. I check in with her every now and again. I actually build connections and relationships by doing these interviews, so I really do enjoy it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We are at a little over 2 hours. I'm trying to get these shows to under 2 hours, y'all. It don't never seem to happen because we start talking and we just be talking. But I love it. I wouldn't change it. So my normal spiel, email me, firstperspective22@gmail.com if you have content ideas, if there's something you want to see. If there is a specific awareness for April or even May that you guys would like me to highlight, email it to me, or you can send it to me via IG. So I have my IG going across the bottom as well. Guys, utilize these email. Like, I've had some people send some weird things, some weird requests, and I'm actually trying to work on some of it for the summer. So I'll bring that out later. But utilize the email. If there's something that you want to see, let me know. I'll research it, and I'll get some professionals to come through, or people willing to share their story to come through, and we'll talk about it. That's what this is all about. Okay, you guys. Let's see, is there any other announcements? Oh, so starting in April, the whole month of April, I'm gonna be collecting doing a raffle um for a nice cash prize giveaway. The raffles are $2. It'll go into a little box with your name, and we'll do the drawing at the end of the month. So we're gonna start doing that, taking cash apps for the raffle, starting April 1st. So I'll do a show on April 1st, drop all the details, and we are going to build a little pot, and some lucky person is gonna walk away with a cash prize or a cash app prize. Okay. Um, Next episode I'm working on is Are You Smarter Than Fresh Breezy? He's in the kitchen talking about Lord have mercy. He just did something similar over at BDB not too long ago, but this time he in the high seat the whole night. It's gonna be a little different. I'll be asking some questions. We're gonna let Fresh Breezy answer them, and then whoever is bold enough to come up here and challenge him will have to decide whether or not Fresh Breezy is correct or if he is not correct. And then we'll take it from there. We're also going to be doing a 90s trivia night. So bone up on your 90s music. I'm just going to tell you that now. Bone up on your 90s television. I'm going to tell you that now because we about to do some trivia and see who really know the 90s. If I was doing it, I think I could beat everybody. Because I be knowing my shows, So we're gonna be doing that. And then I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze another awareness episode in this month. I can't promise that because the month is almost over and I'm traveling. I'm going to New York on Friday, and then I got a pretty full schedule next week. But I'm going to see what I can do because I like being here in front of you guys. So shout out to everybody that came through. I know I shouted out a bunch of people earlier, but since then, so many other people have come through here. I'm going to see if I can shout out a couple more of you guys. But if I don't say your name, please charge it to my head and not my heart. Okay. So I know I saw my mama boo. I think I shout you out like 3 or 4 times a show, girl. I don't know. I always see you. I'm trying to go back to a name that I don't, that I didn't see. Salute to the family and friends that were in the chat supporting Samantha. I think that was super dope that you guys came by and supported her. She was a little nervous to do the show. She doesn't know me. She doesn't know my platform, and she agreed to do it anyway. And I honestly think that it was really good for her, and it was good for her family to be here and support her. So shout out to you guys for doing that. I think it was super dope. Hopefully you will come back and see us again. Don't be a stranger. I appreciate all the support. Make sure you hit the like button for your girl and subscribe. So Mills Lane, thank you for hitting the panel. I appreciate that. So I did shout out Strong Back Love, Buddy Lee, Bishop, that's my Grant dude. Salute to you, Davion. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see who else did I see in here. Mike Martin, thank you for stopping by. Mike Martin always comes by to see me. I appreciate you, bro. Her story pain. Thank you so much. I think that was Samantha's sister. So thank you so much for stopping by. I think that was amazing. My Carla, I think you just sat here and watched the whole episode, girl. Look at you. I appreciate you and designer for stopping by. I appreciate the support. I feel the love. Miss Parker, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you so much. Let's see. Angelica, I believe you are the best friend of Samantha's. Salute to you. Thank you for coming. I think it meant so much to her to have you guys in here. Don't think I don't see you behind the bar. You talking about you was looking for emoji for me. You gonna put cap in a corn. You ain't right for that. I don't like that. Even though we are the bomb. But salute to you. I appreciate you for tuning in. I know you're probably trying to rest for work. Kid Murray the GOAT, thank you for stopping by. Pamela J, thank you. Yeah. So I think I got everybody, and all the text messages I got from people who were like, I want to watch, but I'm at work. Like, Jen, thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you so much. And I think I saw the nice one in the chat. That's my niece. Salute to you. All right, you guys, I'm not gonna keep you. I'm actually rather tired. I need some rest. Um, Fresh Breezy, Drunko's going live tonight. Oh Lord, I better go take a nap because I'm sure that's gonna be late. Y'all behave yourself because y'all been scratching a lot lately, and I don't like it. Not you. You don't. You're non-confrontational with the people online. So, but salute to the drunk uncles. They've been pretty consistent lately. Really good shows. So I think they're going live tonight. So make sure if you haven't already, you subscribe to the Drunkles podcast featuring Fresh Breezy. If I have any moderators left in the chat, if you don't mind dropping their link, please, so that people can subscribe to them. Let's go ahead and get their subscribers up. If you haven't done so, please hit the like. Um, yeah, you guys, I am actually gonna get ready to sign off. I appreciate everybody for coming out. I'm gonna try not to let it be too long before I come back on. Um maybe I can convince Fresh to do a Freshest episode tomorrow. Oh, now he's not answering me. I said maybe I can convince Fresh to do the Freshest episode tomorrow. He got work tomorrow, y'all. And he get ready to go to Cali. I ain't gonna mess with him because I'm going out of town too. But yeah, maybe we'll do a Freshest episode tomorrow. What y'all want us to talk about? I don't know what to talk about. We have to look up some stuff. Talk about behind the bar. Oh Lord. What you do now, man, that he want to do a show about you? Don't you think that's better suited for the drunkles? Yes, because I'm Main's friend. I don't be talking about him bad. Okay. All right, Star. All right, y'all. Oh, thank you for that, my boo and Pamela. Oh, Coach Al, what day is your birthday? Is it on Friday? Coach Al got a birthday coming up. I'm gonna play you something for your birthday. You ready for it? Al, you ready? I got something for you for your birthday. You ready? Okay. Like to hear? Here you go. Courtesy of Fresh Breezy. Oh. Tomorrow. Oh, Al. We have to do something for your birthday. Well, y'all bringing it in on the show tonight, so I can only imagine I'll be getting up to take London to school tomorrow. Breezy got to work tomorrow, so he been Breezy got to work tomorrow. Carla, Breezy coming to work with you tomorrow. So hopefully he don't have too much fun on the drunkles. But I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow. But happy birthday tomorrow to Coach Al. Really scandalous Lady Mess. I went from just being Lady Mess to scandalous. All right. I know it's time. You going what he said? I'm getting lit tonight. Okay. Yeah, good luck with that, Carla. You look cute in that picture too. Let me see. What's designer's picture? What he got? Let me see what y'all working with. Y'all both hit my chat today. Oh, he kept it simple. He just got the letter. Y'all both hit my chat today. I feel so honored because I know y'all catch the rebroadcast and y'all must be at home like cooking or something. Y'all doing something. Somebody's sewing, getting ready for dance, something. What y'all must be at home together right now doing something. And y'all tuned into my show. I feel so special. Thank you. All right, you guys. I want y'all to have a good night. I'm gonna go get some rest. start packing for my trip. I'm getting ready to go to New York City for my nephew and his wife gender reveal. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be a great auntie again. And so I'm super excited. Thank you, BDB. You know, I live for your compliments. When you tell me I had a great show, I know I had a great show. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, so I'm going to New York City. I'm going to you know, it's gonna be a girl. I'm calling it, you know. I know he want a boy. I think he want a boy, you know, keep the last name going, but I really, really think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a girl. Yes, and she's gonna be so cute. I'm excited. I love babies. Don't want no more, but I love babies. I like other people babies. You know, so I get to spoil. I can't wait. So that's what I'll be doing. And I don't know, you know, we're gonna have Fresh Breezy on the West Coast and Lady Fresh on the East Coast. We might have to do a collaboration episode, Fresh Perspective and Drunkles, East versus West. What you think about that? But you got a whole crew. I'm not gonna even have a crew. I have to find some of my New York people to pull up with Lady Fresh, East versus West. We're gonna go live together on the Drunk Uncles and Fresh Perspective, and we're gonna see who having more fun. Let me stop bullshitting. They're gonna be having way more fun. Way more fun. I'm gonna get some rest. I'm taking my daughter with me, so I'm gonna be getting some rest. But they're gonna be lit. Oh God. Coach Al. Coach Al, real quick. Al, can you hit the link? Al, are you busy? Breezy said you're not busy. Bring your ass up here. I didn't say that. He said it. Al. Harlem girl. Hey, baby. She gave me my first grand nephews. They are the cutest kids in the world. I love them so much and I miss them. I can't wait to see them. Coach Al, I need you to hit the link. Coach Al. Al, that's you. I need to see can you open your camera real quick? I don't feel like pulling the banner up. Why you do it so fast? Why you laughing? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What?
Now I see why you flashed
it.
Now I'm close to pulling Why do I hear myself?
Wait, let me cut it down. No, let me cut it down. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Just turned it up.
Hear me now?
Yes, BDB, the Drunkles are supposed to still be going drunk. Look, I was going to say the Drunkles are still going drunk tonight. The Drunkles are still supposed to be going live tonight, right, Al?
Oh yeah, I'm in the game.
You in the game?
I'm getting drunk now.
So yesterday I hit your panel, and I was in the, as Breezy call it, I was in the dungeon, and so my audio went out, but I was threatening y'all. And so I figured it's only right to threaten you again. Well, please return my husband in the manner in which I give him to you.
I'm gonna bring him back better. He coming back a better man.
Listen, London likes him, so he gotta come home. Look, he want her dad to come back. So
we just gonna have some good fun.
That's precious cargo. Say, yeah, you know, I give him shit, but yeah.
I told Nicole you did that, and I also told her that, you know, you up there always taking up for Fresh. You know, I see you got your bulldog out there out front, Fresh. Yeah.
Why am I a bulldog? Because I love my husband?
No. That's just an inside joke. He knows what I'm talking about.
No, I ain't no inside joke because I listen to y'all shows. Y'all I want to present a challenge. Can I present a challenge?
Sure.
I want to see you go 2 episodes without mentioning Lady Fresh. Can y'all
Oh,
do that?
if he don't mention Nicole, I won't mention Lady
Nah,
Fresh.
because I don't feel like y'all mention Nicole every single episode.
Because they talking about the dent on my head. They talking about me twerking. They talking about my
Well, you
missing
did all
tooth.
those things, though. You did twerk.
Man, look here. I was twerking for Drake.
Didn't he ask you to stop saying that?
No, well, I said it just to piss him off.
Oh, Andre, Obama don't like me. He don't like
Yeah.
you. He don't like you for saying that.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Lady Fresh, for real. I am so honored that my man is coming down here with me and help celebrate my birthday. He's gonna have a great time. And I mean that. We starting off with a bonfire on Friday night. We're gonna do downtown and the game on Saturday. We ain't got Sunday all the way together yet, but so far we rocking.
Well, you should feel honored because I don't release him to everybody.
Well, I'm gonna thank you, and I so appreciate it.
I am very, very selective.
Okay.
But, no, and I don't mean that like I control nothing because I don't.
No. Keep on,
Like,
continue, please.
at the end of the day, like y'all new friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is the type of thing that solidify your friendship, though. That's why we doing it.
It does, right. But like I legit feel comfortable with him, meeting these new friends. Like, because you gotta be careful, yo. You can't meet everybody.
Really. But see, that's the thing about me. He'll see. That's why I got my son going to the game with us. I'm the type of person. I am who I am now as I am in real life. I'm happily married, kids, pops, coach. What I do, and nothing fake about it. And he got to go to practice with me on Saturday, excuse me. So he gonna get the real lifestyle. He might go to work Friday. He got some work on Friday night. He getting in that truck whether he like it or not.
Oh Lord, you cutting him a check for that work?
No, he interned it.
You an apprentice, garçon.
We just go get out there and have a good time. No, I'm really looking forward to it though. And that was a great show, by the way. Since I'm up here, I just want to tell you. I wanted to tell you this real quick.
Talking cash money.
Say it again.
He ain't here talking shit. But I'm excited for this trip for him though, because I'm telling him you got to travel. Like we at that age now, like that's what life is about at this point. But we travel for work all the time. We go to Georgia and New York. That's not traveling. You gotta go somewhere different. Do something that is not traveling. Going to the tri-state area ain't traveling, buddy.
As long as I can put an umbrella in my drink and watch the ocean somewhere, that's vacation to me.
You said what?
I said, as long as I can put a drink in my umbrella and be on the ocean somewhere, that's vacation to me. And
because you got an ocean you can be by. Ain't no ocean in Kansas.
Yeah, I got to have it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to travel.
Like the bonfire we're gonna have is probably about 15 minutes from my house. That's how close I live to the beach. So we're gonna go out there. We're gonna go out there and do it.
I will say there was something very serene about being on the West Coast and like watching the sunset and like just having your feet in the ocean. Like it was something really beautiful about that. I was like, I like this. Like we went there for the 1 year anniversary. And so just like I didn't like that truck from the beach back to the boardwalk, but it was really cool. Like just like sitting in the chairs with your feet in the ocean, just watching the sunset. Like that was beautiful. So definitely got to get back out to the West Coast. Now,
that's why I told him I wanted you to come out there too, so you can experience some of it because we have a good time out here. So many things to do out this way that ain't even funny.
I believe it. So we definitely because we were supposed to bring baby girl. It's a 10 year. We got So we are. In fact, I'm about to start making the plans now. We are definitely bringing her because she's been asking since she walked to go to California.
Well, my baby girl's 16, so she have a perfect little partner that's real to hang out with.
Gonna be 10. Your 16-year-old is not gonna want to be bothered.
Oh, your baby's 10, huh? That's right. No. My family ain't like that though. Once you come down here, we have a good time. It don't matter how old you are.
She thinks she's 16 though.
Well, she'll love my baby girl then because my baby girl thinks she's 21. She go to school down at the little college, so she thinks she's a college student like the rest.
Mills Lane. You seen what Mills Lane put?
What'd he say?
Breezy and Coach Al gonna get drunk, then get matching tattoos.
Oh hell no! That's what we ain't gonna do. We ain't gonna get that drunk, like
Oh,
no, Bill,
burn.
no. I wish Old Head was home because if Old Head was here, we go out there and see Old Head in Riverside.
Oh man, old head. He's funny. Now he seemed like he's a good time.
I can't wait for him to get back from the Philippines. I'm gonna go hang out with old man. Yeah, I made up my mind. But I want to tell you about your show real quick before I go.
Okay.
I really enjoyed your show. That young lady is very inspirational. I love that how she's just striking no matter what it is. She's just gonna keep on moving. That's the people thing, you know. That's sisters. That's what make us y'all queens and stuff because y'all keep moving no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And come to and be there and still do your family, and then nobody even know what she's going through. So salute to her.
She was hecka transparent too. Like, she was just like, "Mom, me and God not getting along right now." And
wow. Yeah.
But you know, I swear to God, everybody think it. Everybody has that moment where like they ain't on the same page with the Lord all the time. It just doesn't exist. Like you can still be faithful, you can still believe, but you have those moments of doubt where you're just human. And she's okay with saying I'm human and I still haven't come to terms with my condition yet. I'm still raw about it. I still cry about it. A lot of people will try to sit up in your face and make it seem like they got all this shit together. And I like that she was like, I don't have it together.
Yes. And that's the problem with the internet too, because they have a lot of people that's portraying they live in Mercedes-Benz life, and really they just live in a Toyota life, and there's nothing wrong with living a Toyota life.
Toyota get hella miles.
Thank you. You know
the maintenance is way cheaper.
Yes, you know what I'm saying. I look at like richness in different ways than other people, because see, rich to me is people that love you. The more people that love you, you know,
especially your daddy, right?
That's right. Fresh know about that. In fact, I talked to my daddy
today.
Daddy
that love him. Y'all was dogging my husband. That was so funny. That was so funny.
I told my daddy today, don't be surprised if I call you 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because it's getting close to that point where they dare me.
Man, y'all are funny. Y'all listen. Y'all gotta keep it going. Y'all are on a roll. I often catch y'all rebroadcast because y'all come on too late for me. But I watch y'all back, and y'all have a really good dynamic. So keep up the good work, y'all.
I sure appreciate it. And same to you, sis. And you have a safe trip in New York, man. And I hope it's a boy for your nephew. Good looking at.
Get off my panel. Get off. That was the one and only Coach Al. So if you guys can later on tonight, not sure what time they coming on. It's probably going to be an hour after whatever it says. They're coming on tonight, and I'm telling you, if y'all looking to have a drunken good time and live vicariously through 3 hilarious dudes, you want to check out the Drunk Uncles podcast featuring Fresh Breezy. I mean, would I be terrible if I don't play no music for y'all while we exiting? I'm just gonna do my theme music because I'm ready. I'm about to get the hell on. Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back on live soon. I'm gonna see if I can convince Breezy to maybe do a short show tomorrow with his wife. But you know, we both getting ready for trips, so we'll see. But if not, I'll see y'all sometime soon. Maybe Sunday after I get back. I don't know. But I'm here, and yeah, y'all have a good night, and I will talk to all you guys soon. You know, I gotta play this one more time. Ever. I'm sorry, Coach Al, but that is funny. I had to play it one more time. It's your birthday. Go ahead and it's your birthday. It's your birthday. All right, you guys have a good night.
Rock bottle on the track, boy. Yeah. Lady Fresh.
Fresh, keep it real, and that's a fact. She gon' tell it like it is, that's just that on that. Yeah, that's just that on that. This the Fresh perspective with Lady Fresh. Lady Fresh, keep it real, and that's a fact. She gon' tell it like it is, that's just that on that. Yeah, that's just that on that. Tune in every week, rockin' with Lady Fresh.